It's a adjust and adapt season. And as we walk into week number 3, we all have to sit down and do a self-inventory, a reflection in the mirror, taking a look at our teams and saying, what do our teams need? Who do we still believe in that we had on our buy low list, our believe in list walking into the season? What is knee-jerk reacting? What is an appropriate reaction or turn away against a player or belief in a player? We're going to break down some of those names, and you see a couple of these guys on screen that I am buying low, and I'm going to explain why. And then we've got Nick Chubb news, Barkley news, Debo news. We've got news all over the place. Cam Akers, Kareem Hunt. We're going to break into the news as well. The Fantasy Football Show, buy low week number 3, and injury update edition. It begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Let's get into some of the players around the news wires right now, floating around news wires right now, and then we're going to get into this buy low Jahmyr Gibbs, Ridley, T-Law type of situation. Actually, I'm just going to get into a couple pieces of news here, jump over to this right here, then go back to the news. But I want to say, prayers up to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, as I'm sure most of you have heard, is out for the season with the knee. There were some people trying to suggest when this happened that maybe there was a chance he could come back. It could be a dislocation. Look, he completely demolished the knee, similar to college. More is going to come out on it. A lot of stuff is being kept kind of under wraps right now, but his knee was completely destroyed. Prayers up to him. We got to talk about it from a fantasy perspective. I know a lot of people are like, Smitty, it's too early, or what are you doing? Stop talking about Nick Chubb's knee. I'm just trying to prepare dynasty owners. We have dynasty communities out there. We have people that are looking to figure out what to do in that situation. It is what it is. Prayers up, and he's a great person. He's a great guy. A lot of people say a better person than player, and he was an amazing player. He was the epitome of running back in the National Football League. These are all things that we all feel, but his career is probably done. Like, could he come back? Probably won't be back in week 1. Probably won't be back by mid-season. It's not his fault. It's not a determination thing. It's that his knee at his age, even though he's not a 30-year-old player, he's not 21. He's not 22. He's not the age he was in college when this exact injury happened, when his knee was I don't know where my model went. My model went here somewhere. There it is. His knee in college went, here's how your knee normally bends. It went this way to a right angle and tore everything. This time it went to the side the same way. Probably completely tore his MCL. Probably his LCL. His LCL is the only thing that could potentially be maybe somehow salvageable, but his knee got destroyed. And at his middle age running back territory, 27, 29, 30, there's no shot. 27, 28, could he come back? Could he be on the field? Potentially, but is he a running back 1 ever again? No. Is he going to be the starter for his team ever again? Probably not, because by the time he gets back, there's going to be, no room for him. There's going to be a move-on process for teams that can't wait a year and a half, 2 years for a player to come back from this kind of knee injury. So prayers up to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is probably done in terms of, being useful from a fantasy perspective. And as far as like dynasty value, it's tough to say, guys, what you could even, I don't think a single person is going to trade for Nick Chubb in a dynasty league. Do you put him on IR if you can afford to and just let him sit there and hope some miracle happens? I suppose, but I'm telling you right now, I highly doubt he's ever useful again from a fantasy perspective. At 27 years old, will be 28, will be borderline 29 by the time he gets a shot to try and come back. Just play it by ear in terms of dynasty. Try and see if you can trade for a Dameon Pierce on the cheap. Maybe somebody will kind of chase this situation and you can get into a Dameon Pierce. You can get a second rounder. You can get something in return for him. In the meantime, Jerome Ford is going to be the starter going forward. Jerome Ford, is a guy they love in Cleveland. Now, there's a lot of talk about Kareem Hunt being brought in, and that's this piece of news right here. And Kareem Hunt certainly could be brought in. There's visits going on right now. Tough to say what's going to actually happen here. But what I will say is I don't think that whoever comes in is taking Jerome Ford's job. I think Jerome Ford has earned this job. They've got him in that backup role for a reason. He came into the game and looked electric. He had some speed and dynamic ability to this offense that, Nick Chubb obviously had some of those qualities too, but this is a unique, different kind of skill set that makes the offense kind of dangerous in some ways that it wasn't. So this is Jerome Ford's backfield. Now, could he get injured? Could he lose the job? Could he struggle for 2 straight weeks and then replace him with whoever they bring in? Absolutely possible. So don't think the situation to be a certain way now and it be the same carried over 3-4 weeks from now. All I know is that if you are sitting there on your waiver wire situation and you're sitting there looking at Kyron's the number 1 overall player that you grab, you scoop up, and you drop your full load drop.
Initiate full load drop
on Kyron Williams. But do you drop a full load drop on Jerome Ford? It's a good question. And in some ways, I would say if you're in dire need and you lost Nick Chubb, if you're in dire need and you have no other option right now, you have no running back 2, you're just in shambles, full load drop might be necessary for Jerome Ford. Could Jerome Ford be a diamond in the rough? Go for it. He could be. I don't know that the odds are extremely high. He keeps the job all year long, but they're pretty decent. I mean, he is the best running back outside of Kyron Williams, and you could say Zach Moss. I do think Roschon definitely gets there at some point. I think A-Chain definitely gets there at some point. One could say rather than go the full load drop route on Ford, I'm going to put in a significant bid, and then I'm going to try and get Zach Moss as well. And then I'm going to try and get Roschon and A-Chain. And keep in mind, these guys will get dropped in some formats where they're not currently available. So keep an eye on the first wave of waivers in week 3. And does Roschon and A-Chain hit the waiver wire because people are impatient and they're impatient Ians and they think Roschon's garbage? Because if Roschon didn't do anything in week 2, which we knew was probably the case, we picked him up as a prospective long play. And if he didn't do anything in week 2, he's trash. He's trash. Everybody's just going to run away. He's trash. Fields looked horrible. Play calling was not helping. And I know everybody's going to blame Fields, and I too am putting Fields on the bench for this man right here, Jordan Love, who was an absolute monster for us all offseason long, picking this guy up in Superflex Dynasty, in Superflex Redraft, in regular 1 QB as our monster secret weapon backup. We're going with Jordan Love until further notice. He's a top 5 or 6 quarterback right now, and he hasn't even had Christian Watson on the field. And Stroud's a good pickup. Stafford's a good pickup. Russell Wilson, obviously. This is the Waiver Wire Show. You can go watch the Waiver Wire Show. It's already been published and up on my YouTube. But I honestly believe there's some huge value in A-Chain, Roschon, and Ford. And then obviously Kyron is a full freaking load drop. This guy's a top 5 running back right now on the season. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but he's been playing phenomenal. And proved me wrong against the Niner D. Proved a lot of people wrong that thought he wouldn't be a good play. I'm included in that bunch. I've taken my lap for it. But Kyron's the real deal. Dell, Nico, Dell, that's up to you. Marvin Mims, Reed is a good choice. But again, Love's going to eventually, hopefully this week, if not next week, get his star wide receiver back that a lot of people are going to pretend it doesn't exist. Maybe he's not the star wide receiver. Well, I'll buy low. I'll buy low, young man. Sky Moore looks back. These are some pretty good players on the waiver wire week number 3. But Jerome Ford is definitely one of those guys you want to grab, and he's capable of being full load drop material. This one right here, let's see, where was that? Let's go to the Barkley news. Saquon Barkley, this one's a little tough to gauge right now because there's a report that Brian Daboll and the Giants are feeling a lot more optimistic about Saquon Barkley's ankle. This is reported to potentially be a high ankle. Every fantasy doctor out there in the world was just throwing their 2 cents in, saying he is high ankle, it's high ankle. We didn't really know. It did look high ankle potentially, And now all of a sudden it's a regular ankle sprain. And now all of a sudden he's potentially even maybe capable of playing this week. Although the reports are that the Giants are going to hold him out on a short week playing Thursday night. And they're going to potentially maybe hold him out one more. But that's all speculative because honestly, if he's almost going to potentially be more available than they think for this week, there's no way of even knowing until next week or even Friday or Saturday how likely he is to go a week from now. So this speculation that he's out 2 weeks for sure, or they're leaning toward that, no one's leaning toward anything until we figure out what's what 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago. This is a step-by-step process, okay? This isn't something where we have all the information. People are so ridiculous sometimes with how they suggest that these teams know what they're doing 2 weeks from now with an injury. So expect Barkley out this week on the short week. It would be reckless and stupid for him to come back. But I will say this, he's a very injury-prone player. That ankle, a lot of his injuries are going to be reoccurring. The amount of injury history that he has that he brings to the table is ultra concerning. And the moment he's back, I would say I would go after another player using Barkley the first moment you can trade him away. And this man right here comes to mind. This man right here feels to his owner almost worthless this week. Maybe they'll wait on Barkley. Maybe this news triggers some sort of trade. Maybe you were so desperate at wide receiver, you can throw in a couple, Nico or somebody else that you picked up off waivers that's playing great. We're not discrediting them as a player that you could use. Go forward. We love Nico. We love a lot of these guys that you're getting on waiver wire. Jaden Reed. You can maybe couple somebody popping off with Barkley to go get Ridley. Go get Ridley. Go buy one of these monsters low now before Barkley can't get you that when he gets injured again. I have very little confidence that Barkley can stay healthy. And I know that's not what a lot of Barkley owners want to hear. You got good news that he's actually more capable of coming back after 1 week off than not. But am I holding him? I am not. I am not. I'm going to get rid of Barkley the first chance I get if I even own him, which I don't. I'm hypothetically talking here. I traded him away. I had one share and I traded him for Tony Pollard straight up. Got laughed at by my league, my little hometown league where my buddies don't respect anything I do here on the internet. They pretend they forget that I even have a YouTube channel. They're like, oh, yeah, don't you do this part-time, right? They don't give me any credit. I know they probably watch, but they pretend they don't. And for you out there, yeah, I traded my little Saquon for your Tony Pollard, pal. And it was a great deal. So trade him the first chance you get. Honestly, I know Barkley owners don't want to hear that, but you got to be preemptive about this stuff. And again, Kareem Hunt might be a potential option, but I don't know that he's the starter at all when he comes in because he's been without a job for a reason, guys. He's lost a little bit of a step. Jerome Ford's not going to relinquish the job to him very easily, and he'd have to get hurt, Jerome Ford, in order to really potentially, I think, relinquish the job. Brandon Aiyuk he had a CT scan yesterday that revealed no break of his clavicle, his collarbone, but this is concerning. This is the AC joint where the collarbone connects to the shoulder. Just because you don't have a break there doesn't mean that it's not vulnerable and in a delicate state. And if you watch Aiyuk on the field in week 2, he was absolutely in tremendous amounts of pain. And when you have instability on the AC joint, you are very, very susceptible to a future injury. I think one thing we're learning this year, and I think we have kind of done a very good job with avoiding injured players and projected busts this year. Like I've missed my share of things. We all have. And this year's been riddled with injuries. The Joe Burrow affected Jamar Chase. The Fields debacle right now underway, which still could rebound. I want everybody to keep some patience going with some of these players that have busted through only 2 weeks of football. Step back and remember, even though we do have concerns about Fields, we do have concerns about this and that, we have played 2 weeks of football. We've also played 2 weeks of football, one of which this man, Trevor Lawrence, was everybody's favorite hero coming out of week 1. No, he didn't blow up, but he had a really good day. He played well. His passes were on point. 1 week later, everybody's calling Law Dog trash. 1 week later, people want to get rid of him. 1 week later, I've seen multiple DMs come through my phone that I refuse to answer. I can't tell you how many countless DMs on Instagram, which I refuse to even look at. Even when I see them come through in their requests, I don't hit accept and have a conversation with somebody about dropping Trevor Lawrence. I can't tell you how many people have said, Smitty, are we dropping Trevor Lawrence? The guy we all loved coming out of week 1. The guy we all said, Law Dog season's here. He's here to stay. Law Dog milk. Soak your mane. Soak your mane.
Law Dog milk for manes on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog milk.
Pour, soak, win. What about that? You giving up on the milk project already, pal? Because he had one bad game, which if you watch the game, there were some very bad moments for Trevor Lawrence in that Trevor Lawrence missed Zay Jones' pass, which technically speaking was like you could argue who made the error. Ridley didn't pull in a touchdown. There were about 3 touchdowns that T-Law could have had in this game, and we'd be talking about T-Law in such a different way coming out of week 2. He'd be everybody's top 5 darling, and instead everybody's jumping ship instead of saying, hey, I see something, and I know T-Law struggled in this game, but there were other people that struggled. This team is loaded. They had a nice week 1 performance. They struggled in week 2. It happens, but T-Law is one of the best buy low, get out of my bad quarterback situations there exists in fantasy football week 3 go forward. Like, you're in a bad spot right now. You're worried about Burrow, which we have more news on. Actually, positive news on Burrow. You're in a tough spot. You lost your quarterback. You banked on somebody. You don't like Fields anymore. You're ready to give up on Fields, even though I'm telling you not to necessarily give up on him. Maybe bench him for our Plan B Jordan Love, which is an absolute glorious move. I mean, I'm not ashamed of benching Fields for our little Jordan Love. But am I giving up on Fields? No. Do I refuse to respond to a ridiculous text message or DM that says, Smitty, I know we like Jordan Love. They always throw the we in just to make me feel like they can maybe get me not to yell at him or something. Smitty, I know we like Jordan Love. I know we like him, but honestly, are we just going to keep him or are we just going to cut him after 2 weeks of football when week 1 was pretty darn good, Smitty? You tell me. I mean, I know we like him, Smitty, but are we cutting Jordan Love? No, we're not cutting Jordan Love. No, we're not trading Calvin Ridley. No, we're not going away from ETN. We're talking about a team that has a lot of upside and ability to be an absolute fantasy football machine. And if you think Calvin Ridley off a mediocre week number 2 isn't one of the best buy lows in fantasy football, I don't know if I can help you. If you don't think T-Law is one of the craftiest ways out of your bad quarterback situation that I may have helped you get in with Fields, but trust it, trust the process, don't drop him. That's where I was going a minute ago and I sidetracked myself. The whole, Smitty, I know we love Fields, but are we cutting him for Stroud? I'm not saying don't pick up CJ Stroud. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're not cutting Justin Fields. He still scored 2 touchdowns, and yes, it was awful. And yes, he made some horrible throws. And yes, there's this one play that is absolute craziness where he literally, I don't even know how this play resulted in a sack. I'll even show you right now. I'm even trying to talk down Jordan Love, I wouldn't talk down Jordan Love. Good grief. No, I'm talking down Fields in a way before I don't want to say talk him up, but talk about how I still believe in him to a degree. This right here, this resulted in a sack. And look, there is some blame to toss around. Fields has some responsibility here. This is absolutely ridiculous. And for this, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of Fields for not delivering the football, and this was a sack. At the same time, though, mistakes were made on Fields' part, but this staff, which is part of the problem, needs to call better plays. They called 2 screen passes when he was backed up in his own end zone, and he threw a pick 6, which it was a bad throw, but they're not doing him any favors. They're not. But is Fields worth giving up on or dropping? No. Put Jordan Love in. Activate, plan Jordan Love. Stand down alert being handed out for Fields if you have Jordan Love.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
But if you don't have Jordan Love, if you've got some mediocre quarterback, I'm probably starting Fields in week number 3. Okay, I just am. But is this a solution right here for anybody worried about what's going on? Yes, this right here is your solution. This right here is your top 5 QB dressed up as a non-top 5 QB. This is the guy that people say, look at that lovely hair. I don't know that he can play football. And you say, you know what? Put it in a bun, get out there, put your helmet on, and go soak it in some milk.
Law Dog Milk for Maines on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
What happens when? Let's see what happens there, pal. How's that? You want to be a absolute menace in the chat? Then we'll just remove you. How's that? You want to know what happens here? How about that? You probably won't find out. Fields is not it, says Swaggy. That's fine. And I'm not saying he is or isn't. But we're certainly going to 100% not give up on him. That's the whole point of my rant. And as far as T-Law, if you don't go after him with a questionable quarterback situation right now, while he is at his extreme buy low, you're going to be upset at yourself. You're going to be upset at yourself watching the Law Dog make magic on the field as he soaks his mane in between plays in a nice warm bowl of milk, and you're going to wish you had a Law Dog shirt.
A lion lives among us, posing as half man, half lawman. His golden mane is reportedly 6 feet long and is bathed in milk.
That's right.
His marvelous mane grows longer with each breath he takes. Legend has it that if you say T-Law in the dark in the bathroom 3 times, you lose your league instantly. Conspiracy fanatics have linked his triangle bone structure to the ancient pyramids and alien theory.
Law Dog is the answer to your quarterback problems at the cost of entry. Law Dog is a moon man still. Ridley is a moon man still. And for those of you complaining Caleb's out there that are so bent out of shape out of my innovative idea to not get rid of the moon men list or the Mars men lists that are locked in for the preseason, which are a matter of record, okay? If you think I run away from things, you don't know me. You don't know me. I come in here and I admit when I'm wrong. I come in here and I tell you when I think we need to change directions. But for the complaining Calebs that think, oh, Smitty, did you hear Smitty change the Moon Man list? I didn't change the Moon Man list. I came in yesterday and I said, hey, you know what we need to do? We need to create an in-season revolving door Moon Man and Mars Man list. And no, I'm not going to rename it so that everybody that's upset about it can feel good about themselves. We're going to have the preseason Moon Man list, the preseason Mars Man list, which we've got locked in. It's there for a matter of record. And now for your own good, because what good is looking at preseason rankings in spreadsheet, Excel Eric spreadsheet content? We're going to have a revolving, always updated, in-season, progressive, and adaptive, and adjust in thinking outside the box Moon Man and Mars Man list. These are in-season versions. If you can't see the words in-season on the top right corner of this screen, I can't help you. And if you want me to not give you new content, I also can't help you. So I give you a list that still has a lot of the same names on it, but we're adding to it and we're making it a revolving door to help you win your league. If you don't like that, if you want only the off-season and in-season Moon Man list for whatever reason, then you can watch the preseason, and then you don't have to watch the Moon Man and Mars Man lists be unveiled during the season, because it's going to be changing. It's going to be ever evolving. The record's going to be there. The preseason Moon Man list is going to be locked in. The preseason Mars Man list will be locked in. But we are moving forward every single season, going to have a revolving, always updating, go forward in-season Moon Man list and in-season Mars Man list. And here is your current list of Moon Men for the go forward, always going to be updated. People dropping on and off it. Here you go.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
A lot of familiar faces on this list, but I will say this list looks very, very, very good. And I think Pickens is an absolute beast in the making. Everybody sees that coming. Puka's not a good value anymore, but out of punishment to me and out of respect and being a man and out of respect for Puka, we're going to have him floating behind the moon all season, just perking away his little ears as he hears what we're doing and what we're up to. So Puka, appreciate you being here. Jordan Love's season is in full effect. Pickens is a grown man catching footballs and looking like a monster on the rise, and his offense is putrid, and his play calling is putrid. And I don't know if things improve. I hope they do, but I hope they continue to feed him. Imagine what happens if they start designing more plays for this man Pickens. Breece Hall, one of the best buy lows in fantasy as people run away from the situation. Everybody's week one darling. He did so amazing. He's a top 5 running back. Can't believe people doubted him. No Aaron Rodgers, no problem. 1 week later, he's trash. And I even see people say Breece Hall looked bad. He didn't look bad. He had 4 touches. He had 4 touches, and he was even very vocal about it and said, hey, I'm upset. I'm pissed off. Breece Hall's not happy. I only got 4 touches. That's why we struggled in this. We got down early today and just abandoned the run. Okay? Then he went on social media and dropped yet another little doozy on everybody. This one right here, expressing his frustrations with a 4football ... tweet. Deleted both of them. And so everybody's like, well, where is it? He deleted it. He didn't want it up anymore. And so Breece Hall is everybody's darling 1 week. 1 bad game where he got 4 touches, which is a problem. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a total idiot, at least. I'm not a total idiot. Okay? I understand that the Jet situation could be a problem. I understand they may not feed him. I understand that freaking Nathaniel Hackett's still there getting his meat paws on this potential play calling and playbook, and it makes me sick to my stomach that he's even there anymore. The moment Aaron Rodgers went down, they should have handed him his walking papers. But I have to think that Robert Salah is going to say, this is our playmaker. He's upset, and Hackett pissed him off, and we don't want our future star running back upset. Let's feed him the ball. And if anybody thinks he's not going to break free and have a pretty damn good season, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Jahmyr Gibbs, same thing. Oh, Smitty, he's not a between the tackles running back. Where were you last week when we were ecstatic and excited about him and everybody thought he was going to be an absolute monster? 1 week later, Monty goes down in the middle of the game. He doesn't get the carries everybody hoped for, so they write him off. When, if you looked at the details, he got the only carry inside the 10-yard line. He was on the field over 70% of the snaps, which is an astronomical number. And if anybody thinks they didn't use him in the game, they don't know the details or the box. They just look at the box score. They're a box score Bobby. And they look at the box score and they say, he didn't do anything. Monty went down. They used another running back. Oh my God, Reynolds, what's going on here? The guy was on the field for 70+% of the snaps, walking out of that Monty injury for the remainder of the season. Understand what's going on here. They're going to game plan around this going into this week. He is an electric playmaking player that they're going to get the football to. No one wants him running the ball 22 times a game. For anybody to even come out of the game saying, well, Monty went down and he didn't get all the carries, you don't understand what Gibbs is. He's a 5, 6, 7 reception player that gets you 12, 13, 14, sometimes 18, sometimes 22, but 12 to 14 carries per game on the usual, and you get him 5, 6, 7 receptions, and he gets you well over 100 total yards and a strong shot at a touchdown or two. That is who he is. Breece Hall and Jahmyr Gibbs are the two best buy low running backs in fantasy football, followed by our boy Alvin Kamara, who's getting closer and closer to coming back. He's inches away now from coming back. We knew that he was going to get a 3-game suspension. We predicted 3 games on this channel because I said, look at the tattoo on his neck. It's all scripted. It says 3 on his neck. He says 3. He put the number of games he was getting suspended on his neck. I came out and predicted this. I said he's going to have a 3-game suspension because he's got a 3 on his neck. I did say that. Everybody that was here can confirm that I did say that. This man, we've been right about all offseason long. He's going to come in. He looked like a running back 1 during the preseason. He looked rejuvenated. People can keep talking about last year, about how, oh my God, Alvin Kamara, he looked so bad last year. Keep living in the past, Bob. Keep living in the past while we look to the future, while we look to the preseason, where we saw him look like an absolute monster, where we saw him become the focal point of the entire drive that was nothing but Alvin Kamara. Throwing to him, running to him, throwing to him, running to him. He looked strong. He looked magnificent. Spacula can confirm that I predicted 3 games off of the neck tattoo. Thank you, Spacula. Appreciate you. We're here for Alvin Kamara season going forward. Mad Regin confirming he also heard the 3. It's part of the script. Look, I don't want to take all the accolades here. It is, I have a little bit of the script. I don't have all of it. I got a page. I ripped the page out. I only have certain things. We're not sure if Javonte... We're not sure if Javonte is a part of this revenge tour. That part was not on the page that I ripped out of the script. I'll be honest, I'm a little worried about it, but I do feel like Hall and Ridley will absolutely be revenge tour monsters. Revenge tour monsters, so get ready, buckle up. But back to the Moon Men list.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
This amazing list right here. JT is coming for everybody.
Space Monsters.
We may have not hit everything on this channel thus far. We're 2 weeks in, let me remind you. But we have hit some of the biggest of voids that we've ever hit in terms of, like, I mean, think about all the voids we've talked about this year in JT, in Eckler. And you can be in a void during the entire offseason and be a buy low when the season kicks off. That is the definition of adjusting and adapting. And I know it's really hard for a confused Caleb to come in and say, Smitty, you predicted JT to do bad. Why is he on your Moon Man list? Think outside the box, Caleb. Think outside the box, Bobby. JT is one of the best buy lows, and every day we get closer to his return, he will go up in price. Right now, his owner might be 0 and 2. You have a unique opportunity, same thing with Alvin Kamara's owner, to go to these owners and say, hey, I know your plan was to hold, but bro, can you wait? Can you be 0 and 3? No, I can't. Okay, I'll take Jaden Reed. And then all of a sudden, you're making trades that other people are going to make if you sit back and you continue to mess with your TPS reports instead of doing real work at your desk, at your 9-to-5 job, and you start making some trade offers in droves. Trade offers in droves. I'm in the Mars Men and Moon Men League, as you know, and I have made so many trades so far. Ask the boys in here. Do I have any Mars men that are in the building right now? I know Jack of all trades was impressed. I have been doing trade after trade after trade. I trade more than anybody you will ever come across if I have time. I normally don't have time. I'm doing so many leagues. I'm doing so many live streams. I can barely go in and do waiver wire pickups and ads. I work for you. I don't care about my teams. I care about your teams. But I have focused a little bit on this Marsman League, and I've made trade after trade after trade. There is an avoid season. Avoid Eckler. We got that right. Avoid Nick Chubb. I don't want to talk too much about that one. Avoid JT. Avoid J.K. Dobbins. Avoid a bunch of players, and most all of them have been 100% on point. And I just want to emphasize that avoiding this man right here, and Puka was not an avoid. Juicebox, if you remember, and there have been people in here that can also confirm, I was extremely high on Puka as a best ball ad all offseason long. My demise on the Puka front was walking into week number 2 saying he is not going to continue to do what everybody thinks he's going to do all season long, which I still think there's some merit to when Kupp comes back, he drops off. But let's not pretend that your boy didn't tell you to draft Puka all offseason in best ball. Let's not write my Puka content completely off, okay? I at least took my lumps and I took my lap and I put Puka up in the corner here just to watch over us, to show you that I'm a man and that I can admit my wrongs. But your boy, and there's people in here that can confirm, told you to draft Puka in best ball all offseason long, okay? So there you go, Puka, bro. There you go, Juicebox. Puka. There you go. Now you know. Now you know why you think you're getting me by saying, Puka, you're so bad on Puka. I wasn't bad on Puka all year, pal. Okay. So, anyway, Smitty's wheeling and dealing in the Marsman League. I made some trades, ladies and gentlemen. My team looks completely different. And 2 buy lows right now. I won't say that Eckler's a moon man buy like JT and Kamara are, but Eckler is a player that his owner's scared about right now. They're very scared about him. When did you say this, Blind Larry? I said it all off season long, Blind Larry, when we're doing best ball drafts. And there are people in here that will confirm. Yesterday, a guy super chatted and said, don't let everybody discredit your off-season Puka talk. Okay, Blind Larry, so nice try with the 5-6 emojis. Puka getting 35 targets a game. He will absolutely get injured if they continue to give him 20 targets a game. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so back on point. Enough of that talk. JT is a 100% go-get player in fantasy football 2023 go forward. Make sure you're all about getting JT. Debo, absolute must right now. We talked about Aiyuk. Let's go over to Aiyuk real quick. Let's talk about this Aiyuk issue. I'm going to go back to the news. This is what sidetracked us for like 40 minutes. We got sidetracked for about 40 minutes on this. Jack Hammer talking about how his shoulder CT scan came back and revealed no break, but he was in such pain every time he got hit. He'd roll onto his back. He was in tremendous pain. If he plays on this, he's running the risk of having something linger, get worse, or the stability of the shoulder so bad he could create some sort of season ending or multiple week injury by playing on a weak and not sound collarbone AC joint like connection here. So we have to be very, very careful to play Aiyuk this week unless we hear he's unlimited, he got better, things got a lot better, and he's not even like on the injury report, and this thing goes away very quickly and he heals up super fast, which I don't think happens because it's a Thursday night game. If this were a Sunday game for the Niners and the Giants, I think they probably could potentially sit him or play him. I also think that given that the Niners, and I know that the Giants could easily come out in surprise, they certainly could. They could come out in surprise. But without Saquon Barkley, I think the Niners feel like, hey, I think we can get this win without Aiyuk. Let's rest him for the long term. So I do think Aiyuk probably sits. That means Deebo Samuel's value goes up in this game here. Now, does that mean you go buy him low? Is he a moon man because of one game? No, but I think your buying opportunity is going to go down if he goes out and explodes in week number 3 because they lean on him heavily. Now, it's a Thursday game. Thursday games are a lot of times disappointing. We always get tricked into playing players on Thursday night, but if you own Debo, you've got to play him. And I do believe Debo will be played a whole bunch all over the field if Aiyuk is out. And I think that it's going to be very hard to acquire him after week 3. Even if he had like a mediocre week 4 and a decent week 5, his blow up, if he does blow up in week 3, he may or may not, but if he does blow up in week 3, it will resonate for weeks. So the buy low opportunity on Debo is here now. It may not be here after this Thursday night game. And Aiyuk being banged up right now is definitely a concern if you own Aiyuk. He's had such a nice start to the season. Cam Akers potentially could be a player that ends up getting traded to the Browns. Other teams are looking at him. We'll have to find out what happens with Cam. We did hear this last year. If you remember last year, there was like Cam's off the team, or he's going to be off the team, and then he came back and became the starter again. Like, that was weird. So we don't really know fully what's going to happen with Cam, but I definitely have been off the Cam train from the beginning, and I think for good reason. And I don't think Cam's got a lot of supporters left, and I just don't see how he becomes an elite running back ever again. We've never seen a player tear their Achilles and return to top 10 running back performance levels ever in the history of the NFL. Quarterbacks have done it. Basketball players have done it. Other positions have done it. But you cannot tear an Achilles and return to, like, Aaron Rodgers could come back. This is different. For a running back, it's explosion. You can lose explosion and still be a smart quarterback. You can still navigate the pocket. You can do different things with as a running back. You have one job, and it's to hit the hole before it closes. And if you lose your explosion and burst, especially if it's altered and you're constantly trying to push off differently, you will have compensation injuries, which is why Achilles tears usually are accompanied for years by other compensation injuries. He's a complete avoid. So up and down with JT, what the hell says, what are you talking about, bro? Up and down with JT, what? Who's up and down with JT? Is this a comment, and maybe you're not referencing me, is this a comment to where stay away from JT and then now go buy JT's confusing? Because that's where it's so funny to me, that somebody wants an analyst to come out and say, avoid, avoid, avoid. You walk into the season and the avoid becomes a buy. And you just want somebody to just stick to staying away from a player. JT and Kamara are two of the best buy low players in fantasy, period. Avoid JT, go get JT. I'm confused. I know you're confused, Caleb, but I just explained it to you. I just explained it to you on when I had the Moonman list graphic up. That are you really confused, Caleb? AC? I don't know if your name is Arthur Caleb. AC, but are you really confused that avoiding him, was I right, AC? Was he a good avoid? Should you have spent the high draft capital on him? The answer is no. Now, AC, Arthur Caleb, what are you doing now? You're just going to sit back and watch him return, get traded, go to a team that needs him and have him become a top 5 to 10 running back after you let somebody else buy him at a high cost of entry, and that owner thought he could sit on him all season, but he's 0-2, and now he's going to trade him to you for a ham sandwich? What's so difficult about that, AC? How is that confusing? How is that wishy-washy at all? I don't even understand. I explained it. I explained it already. I don't even get it. Jamal Williams be out for the immediate future. Look, this is Kamara's team. Kamara's coming. And Rush's best show of the year. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rush. Rush to the moon, coming in with a strong. When I say strong, I mean strong normal chat. We're close to the super chats, and then we're gonna get some phone calls here. We've got this piece of news here from Stroud, little Stroudy poo, third highest pressure rate through 2 games, yet he's doing good work. And the Texans have like 3 top 35 wide receivers or something, with Robert Woods included into that. Look, Stroud's doing good, and the Texans, this is a good team that's gonna be good in a little bit. I do think Dameon Pierce is a great buy low. I do love Tank Dell still, and he's probably going to be on the Moonman list. I haven't added everybody, back yet or isolated it completely yet, but this is an absolute nice little story here, this offense. And I think Dameon Pierce is a 100% go get cheaply. On the cheap, go get him. And the last piece of news here is the Jerome Ford news. And we talked about this at the top if you missed it, that what do you do if you had Nick Chubb? It's Jerome Ford season. I don't know how good he's going to be for as long as he'll be. I don't know, but I do know that Kyron's the number one pickup of the week if he's available. Full load droppage on that.
Initiate full load drop.
I do know that Kyron Williams, if I had to give him a score of being the best pickup of the year, let's put a little Kyron Williams action on the screen right here. Kyron, I would say if putting this on here and trying to give him a score, and for anybody who doesn't know what this is the odds of being the best pickup of the year. I would probably say that Kyron right now, feels like an 8 out of 10 of being the best pickup of the year. I'm not giving out 10s like candy. I don't know. I think we've given out 110 before. I'm not going to give out 10s like candy. I'm not going to give out 9s very easily either. He's borderline 9. Look, he's a top 5 running back right now. He's borderline 9. So there you go. But waiver wire, as far as Jerome Ford, I would say Jerome Ford feels very 6-7-ish. And you almost need the full load drop on him as well. And as far as the Joe Burrow news, which I know some of you have been waiting for, that's the one thing that I said that everyone's perking up and they're like, here's Joe Burrow news. Joe Burrow news is that Joe Burrow, there's whispers and people close to the situation, a lot of sources though, that Joe Burrow potentially is doing a lot better today than he was on Sunday, and that Joe Burrow is still very questionable for week number 3, but that's probably they're keeping things tight-lipped. They don't necessarily want to let anybody know what's going on. It's never a good coaching strategy to be like, yeah, he'll be fine, he's playing, when people think, oh, we got a plan for this, plan for that. So right now, though, the word is from the little birdies that are whispering in my ear, and again, sources can be inaccurate, but I have a lot of feelers out there for a lot of different teams and fan pages and stuff, and sometimes those sources go deeper and run deeper than others, but I'm hearing a lot of things look a lot better, that it's not like he's sitting there where he was weeks and weeks ago. It's bothered him, and I heard a report and I heard confirmation from one of these little birdies and sources that the calf was bothering him going into the game, which really sucks to hear. But he was on the sideline with the massage gun, smiling and grimacing, but smiling and joking around, and there were no trainers around him. Like initially when he came off, I'm sure a trainer or two came over and talked to him and looked at it, but he was on the sideline almost immediately after coming off the field, after that incompletion, and he had the massage gun, and he was just going out his calf, and there was no trainer around, there was no tent, there was no talk of a cart, and so that should give you a little solace in that a lot of these injury reporting fantasy analysts out there that just want to be first to it, or like he could be put on IR. Everyone's talking about Joe Burrow being put on IR that has some sort of like medical knowledge and coming out. There are some that I respect a lot that do it. There are a lot of people that try to do it. I'm not saying everybody that does the medical trying to dive into fantasy, but it's like they're just trying to be first. They're trying to be first. A guy goes down, and I know I do it too. I'm trying to create content as well, but I am trying to educate and inform. And yeah, maybe I don't have an MD, okay? But I come with 20 plus years of football experience evaluating injury versus coming with 20 years of injury experience, jumping into the fantasy space and trying to mingle the two together. I've seen ACL recoveries. I've seen this. I've seen that. That's why we're not concerned about Breece Hall's ACL when everybody else will say ACLs take X number of time to recover. I mean, Javante's not blowing up right now. It's not because it's ACL. It's because they're not feeding him the ball. Breece Hall blew up in week 1, but he's not being fed. That's the problem. It's nothing to do with the ACL. I look at these reports that came out. Joe Burrow goes to the sideline, and immediately fantasy people or medical people that are dipping into the fantasy space saying, oh, he's going to be put on IR. I think he's probably going to be put on IR. He's not going on IR yet. Maybe he does. Maybe it gets worse. Maybe in practice he tears it. Like he could. There's a path for him to go on IR. Their bye week is not that far off, so there's a lot of people speculating that he could rest it out, go to the bye week, and then come out of the bye week. But the Bengals would lose. The Bengals are like looking at Joe Burrow, and this is what the coach said about his own quarterback, that it's up to Joe. It's not up to the training staff. It's up to Joe. What does Joe think about his calf? Does Joe want to go forward? And so, no, Zachary, I've already explained the Moon Man list. I don't understand some of you guys. That, like, a lot of you understand what time it is. Why on earth do you want a list up that we're going to continue to look at that doesn't have the relevance to the depiction of what the season looks like moving forward? We have it. We're not going to ignore it or delete the old Moon Man list. But, Zach, what good is it here to keep putting up an old list that we feel differently about? Do you really want that content, Zach? What's the satisfaction in that for you? I already come in and tell you when okay, this guy's not doing well. Do you really want me to put up a list that's the old names? We're just going to stick to our guns? Or do you want content to win your league, Zach? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I'm not changing the name because some of you can't grasp it. I'm not going to make it the Galaxy, man. I know some people are kind of trying to come in here with solutions to appease the 4 or 5 loud people in the chat that are like, I don't understand why we don't just have the same Moon Man list put up. Why can't we just put it up on the Moon Man list and have it? I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand why you have a new list that is not replacing the old list that says in-season version. I can't understand why you would create new content for me, Smitty, so that I can win my league. I just don't. But, Smitty, why would you create an alternate in-season version, Smitty? Why would you? Do we have off-season content and in-season content? Or do we just take the off-season videos? I did a video on this player and just replay it for you during the in-season. Is that what you want, Zach? Do you want me to not go live and create new week 3 content? Why have week 3 rankings, Zach, when we had a week one ranking, Zach? Let's just go to the old Moon Man list.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
There we go. On to the next topic. Let's get to the super chats. Burrow news. Good news that he's doing better. We don't know if he's playing. He could sit out 1 week and then want him to get, on his horse entering the next game. But what I'm hearing is things got better, not worse. That's good. That's all we really know. And that's all we will probably know for quite some time. Let's get into these super chats here. Appreciate you all. I'm going to go in order of which they're received, except for the $20 haulers get immediate assistance. Mason coming in with a 20 wad on the screen. My boy Mason coming in strong. Thank you, Mason. Appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and drop let me pause this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Johnny United says, I'm just confused why you told me to draft Kenny Pickett. I wish you knew how to read, Johnny, because that was never on anything. But nice try, Johnny. Nice try. Mason, 16-team league. Actually, let me drop all these super chats, these $20 on screen first, and then we'll go through them all in order in which they were received. Thank you. Thomas dropping a $20 hauler. We got a few 20s right out of the gate. You guys are absolute monsters. Look at this. Alonzo dropping a 20 watt on screen. Alonzo, thank you. Look at Xavier dropping a 20 watt on screen. Thank you, Xavier. And that is the 20 spots. And then we're going to start with Little, Nicky, Mark Cleveland. Let's put Mark Cleveland over here. And we'll go to Mark Cleveland next. Mark, appreciate you. Then we're going to go to Stops, then Tyler, then Nathan, then Boone, and Tanner, and et cetera, and et cetera. This one's from Xavier. Xavier says, hey, Smitty, love the show. My team is 1-1 currently. I got T-Law, Bijan, Gibbs, Wilson, London, Pickens, JSN. If you have a trade idea, I would appreciate it. As far as this team goes, you know I'm sticking with T-Law. You know I love Bijan. You know I'm sticking with Gibbs. You know I think Wilson's underrated, and he's a low-end wide receiver 1. He's got 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks. People keep discrediting him and discounting him. But would I trade him away for a Ridley? I probably would say yes. I would say this would be the move for you. Pickens look great. London bounced back. There are a lot of movement that are looking good. Tank Dell looked good. Flowers has been, I think, really, really solid. You've got an opportunity here to maybe get out of the Garrett Wilson game if you want to. And you'd have to give up a London or a Pickens to do it. And I don't know that it's worth it to say get Garrett Wilson and London maybe. For Ridley, I would do that. Garrett Wilson and Pickens, maybe I wouldn't. Tank Dell and Wilson, I would trade for Calvin Ridley. A.J. Brown's an interesting 1-for-1 if you wanted to just get out of the Garrett Wilson game. Past that, I love your team. I don't want to change anything unless you're trading London and Javonte for an ETN. Pickens and Javonte for a Kenneth Walker. Or you go after Kamara or JT using a London, potentially a Pickens to put a monster on your bench. Thank you for your $20 holler, young man. I appreciate it.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, my man. My main man, Xavier. Appreciate you, buddy boy. This one's by Vino, $20 hauler. I'm going to put over in the corner here. Vino, hang tight. I'm going to get to you. Alonzo, 12-man PPR, double flex, lost Chubb squad is T-Law, Barkley, Gibbs, Pierce, Watson, Nico, Henry, Pickens. You are in a bind, young man. But the fact that you have Love and T-Law, maybe you trade Love and Nico. Maybe you trade Love and Hunter Henry, and you put Komet in, you just roll the dice there because Hunter Henry has some value. You got to do something. You just lost Nick Chubb. You want a full load drop on Ford to protect yourself, but, I mean, go after the buy lows we're talking about, bro. You go after the Ridleys. You've already got Gibbs. You go after Breece Hall. You go after the J. Like, if you stay afloat, you're 1-1, right? What is your record? Lost Chubb? Oh, you didn't tell me your record. Let's say you're 1-1, or even if you're 0-2. If you stay afloat for a couple weeks and you get JT or Kamara, especially Kamara because he's going to be back 1 week sooner than JT. JT could also take a little more time to get going because Kamara at least played in the preseason and looked good. That might be a move for you. Watson will get on his horse. I think Nico and Love could get you a big piece. A.J. Brown's a great buy low. Debo's a great buy low. ETN's a great buy low. Those are all players that I think could help you get back into a position where you could dominate. Appreciate your super chat, young man. You are the man.
Alert. Super chat alert.
My man, this one's from Thomas, $20 hauler. Would you make any moves at 2-0? Mahomes, Stevenson, Hall, Mike Evans, Judy, Hawkinson, Brian Robinson. Bench players are Burrow. Yeah, I mean, how do you have Burrow on your bench? You can't trade him now, but once he bounces back, you'll want to potentially move him. Garrett Wilson, Javonte. This is a really good squad. Look, you're 2-0 for a reason. Sometimes you don't touch what isn't broken, bro. Evans is bowling out. Brian Robinson. Try and get like Gibbs somehow. Try and get a Debo. Try and get a JT or Kamara for this team using that Brian Robinson and potentially. I mean, I don't think Judy's gonna get it done. You got Hall already. Yeah, that's tough, bro. Garrett Wilson for JT. If you're not using him, why not go get JT or Kamara? If you're not using Garrett Wilson anyway, and just have that massive firepower ready to jump into your lineup. Thank you for the 20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
My man, David with a $27.99 super chat says, hey, Smitty, You're the best. 0-2, need to make a move. My Bijan and Ridley for Gibbs and Hall. Keep Bijan and Ridley. Not even close, bro. Not even close. Smitty disapproved on this trade. Not disapproving you, but Smitty disapproving your trade right here. You can't trade Ridley and Bijan. You can't do it. That's not even close. Not even close. They could throw in another big player, and you still don't trade Bijan and Ridley. You have the two best players in the deal. As much as I love Gibbs and Hall, that is not the move to make here. Bijan and Ridley are monsters. Mason with the 2016 team, tough 16-team league. 0-2, 1 QB, 2 running back, 3 wide receivers. Love Fields, okay. 1 QB league though, so you could make a move if you wanted to go ballsy, bro. And bank on Fields, but you got a nice quarterback situation. You got that saves you with Love, so put Love in. Stroud could be traded. Hall, McKinnon, Bigsby, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson. I'll be honest, bro. I'll be honest. It's a 16-teamer. It's a really good team. I think in a 16-teamer 1 QB, you should have no problem trading Fields even, because I doubt there are people. If people are struggling in a 12-man league to field the quarterback, I think they're probably struggling to field the quarterback. No pun intended for using Fields in this context. You should be able to make a move, bro. You should be able to easily trade that player for a Gibbs, for a Fields, for a Debo, Fields for another doubted player. Because if Fields is doubted, but you need a quarterback, you would take a chance on giving up Kamara and JT, especially from owners in a 16-team league that thought they were crafty drafting them, and they're 0-2 and they're worried as hell. I think you get Fields sent away and you get a JT or Kamara. I think you get a Debo. I think you get one of the players we're talking about. Love your team. It's really, really solid for that, and I would explore trading Jordan Love and banking on Fields yourself. But definitely something that you want to be careful with. Oh, no. Okay, I thought I had to get the front door. Miss Smitty's here. Okay, so thank you, Mason, for the $20 hauler. Let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Mason to the moon. Appreciate you, Mason. Vino with the $20 hauler. Would you trade away Garrett Wilson for JT? Yes. That's funny because we just talked about that. I would absolutely do that. In most scenarios across the board, as long as you feel confident with your team and looking at your team, you got Puka, Ridley, Sun God, great wide receivers. Your running backs are on the struggle bus potentially, so this could help you. Kamara is another good one. Smitty. And thank you very much for the super chat, Vino. But look at Alvin Kamara as well. Mark Cleveland with a $10 hauler.
To the moon.
All $10 haulers get a moonshot. My boy Mark Cleveland doing good things. Gonzalez with his first super chat. What do you do? Gave Jay Herbert, Keenan Allen for Brees, and Joe Burrow. That could be very good for you if Joe Burrow's healthy. You're taking a risk there. Thank you, Gonzalez, for the first super chat. I like it if you're a dice roller. Okay, I like it if you're a dice roller, but could it burn you? It could go either way. But I like the Joe Burrow side. Thank you for your first super chat. Mark Cleveland, I got Puka on waiver. Trade him for Swift or Walker or hold. I got an offer on the table. My wide receivers are Debo, Wilson, Puka, and Dotson. What do you guys think on this right here? Do you rank Puka, Swift, and Walker in order? Okay, rank those 3 in order. I want to know what the chat thinks. Let's see what you guys think in terms of Puka's real value. And would you, if you were Mark Cleveland, go ahead and make this move to acquire an RB using Puka? He did pick up Puka off waivers. He's playing with the house's money. It doesn't mean he should throw away said money. But at the same time, if he needs an RB, this is a move that could be made. And I'd like to see. Charles says Puka. Kentucky says Puka. I'm Spiffy, by the way, says Gonzalez. Thank you, Spiffy. I didn't know that. I won't remember stuff like that, so thank you for clarifying. Stroud, Walker, and Swift and Puka in that order. Walker, not gonna lie, hold Puka. Walker, get Swift. Puka, Walker, Puka, Walker, Puka, Swift, Walker, Walker, Swift, Puka. They're all over the map, bro. Everybody's all over the map. If it was me, and you need a running back, it makes sense. Like you got wide receivers, you got some good wide receivers. I would probably say give me Walker, especially if you have Charbonnet. If you don't, then Swift becomes kind of intriguing there. But I'd probably roll with Walker If you've got Walker in a lot of other leagues, Mark, and I know you do, Swift isn't a bad option for you if you have no shares of him. So you might want to consider that, diversifying a little bit. You do a little dice roll, I think, on Swift, but I don't mind doing it. Jonathan with a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Jonathan, appreciate you dropping the 20 spot. Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Puka, Michael Thomas, Breeze, Swift, Kamara, Kyron, Watson, Kincaid, Akers, 12-man league, 0-2. What moves to make? You also are in a position to potentially move for Puka or not. And I think because you got Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Puka, you're good at wide receiver. You got Breeze, Swift, Kamara, you're good at running back. You got Kyron coming in to save the day. This is a good team. You shouldn't be 0-2. You are 0-2. Do I upgrade Watson somehow? I try to, bro. Watson's not a good quarterback, and I would be concerned about that. That could be holding you back quite a bit. I'd almost say you could put your balls on the line, bro, and potentially trade. You could trade Kyron for a quarterback, but you could put your balls on the line and potentially trade like a freaking Garrett Wilson for like a quarterback and try and get something else in return. Like, for example, let's say the person had like a Dotson or a Christian Watson that they didn't believe in anymore and they had T. Law. I mean, you could try and go that route, Garrett Wilson for T. Law, and try and get something else. That T. Law, I believe, as we've talked about him today, is a great buy low. I don't love Christian Watson. I hate you getting rid of Garrett Wilson. I certainly would get more. And if you can't get more, I don't know that I'd make the trade. But you definitely, there are several quarterbacks. Fields could maybe be had using Deshaun Watson and Akers, Deshaun Watson and Dobbs, Deshaun Watson and Michael Thomas. You could always try and use Puka to go get a top 5 or 6 quarterback. Bro, I'm seeing Puka get the world in a trade. You just saw a lot of people say no to freaking DeAndre Swift and no to Kenneth Walker for Puka Nacua. So I know you can go get a quarterback pretty easily, bro, using Puka. So definitely get here and let's see here. There's certain people in here that are just trying to cause trouble, and they're just going to be removed from the situation. If you want to come in here and you just want to come in and just try and make everybody upset in the chat, then no one's going to want you here, bro. Appreciate you, Jonathan, for the $20 hauler. Caleb dropping a $20 hauler on screen. Caleb says, I'm 1-1. I have one in my league. Will trade at, what does it say? I have no one in my league that will trade at all. Tried trading Henry this season. Might be over for me, Smitty. I just lost Chubb to Lamar, Henry, Brees, Debo, Christian Watson, Javonte. I don't know that it's over for you. You got some talent, bro. Try to continue to trade. Try and get rid of Lamar or Jordan Love. All it takes is a massive amount of offers, bro. Send out like 15 offers. I'm being serious. That's how I do my trades. That's how I got a lot of trades done in the Moonman list. Is I literally sent out a massive amount of offers, and all it takes is one person to hit accept. And so you send out a bunch of offers using Jordan Love. Bank on Lamar probably because Jordan Love. Well, maybe Lamar could get you something solid. But bro, you replace Lamar. You take Lamar and you plug in a freaking Walker, an ETN, a Kamara, a JT. Go after one of those guys, and this team could be salvaged. I know you're 1-1, but 1-1 is not that bad. Like, you can bounce back from this, bro. And I know you lost Chubb, but your team looks pretty solid. Henry, Lamar, Brees, Debo, Christian Watson, that could all get moving. And you could actually, like, if you took Chubb off this roster and showed it to me, Caleb, I probably wouldn't say you have that bad of a team. I'd be like, it's a pretty good team. The fact that you had Chubb, you had a monster team, Caleb, and it wasn't your fault. Nick Chubb went down. You couldn't prevent that. You couldn't expect it. So you did your best, bro. Don't fret and keep trying. Don't give up. Hammer dropping a $5 hauler. Hammer says trade Gibbs, Wilson, AR5, Najee for Walker, Chase, Allen. Trade Gibbs, Wilson, AR5, Najee for Walker, Chase, Allen. I think I would. That's a boatload of look. AR5 is closer to Josh Allen than people think, but I do feel like I would go Josh Allen by quite a bit. Chase over Garrett Wilson by quite a bit. Walker over Najee by quite a bit. And so the question is, or you could say Walker and Gibbs are even. The question is Najee the difference maker? And he's not. So I'm going to take that Josh Allen side. It's a lot to digest. I'm not going to lie. Like, be careful, doing big trades like that, and get some advice from the chat as well. But that's a really, really, really tough call. Very, very tough call. Did I say I didn't love Christian Watson? I love Christian Watson. What would make you think I said I don't love Christian Watson? I didn't say anything of the sort. Fields is off the Moon Men. He's not off the preseason Moon Men list. He's not currently on the revolving in-season Moon Man list, pal. Doesn't mean that we're giving up on him or we don't like him. Trade Gibbs, Kyron, and Addison for Bijan and Swift. Trade Gibbs, Kyron, and Addison for Bijan and Swift. I take Bijan and Swift, but it's really, really close call, bro. There's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of talent on both sides of that. It could go 100 different ways. KSO, Smitty, I'm 0-2. I have QB Burrow, running back Pollard, Bijan, fantastic. Good news on Burrow today. Rewatch the show if you need more information on it, but it was about maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. Looking better today than yesterday. Looking better today than on the field when he had the massage gun and he was laughing and grimacing. And so he could play. He could play. I know a lot of people are speculating in negative ways. Don't worry about it. Smitty, I'm 0-2. I have, let's see here. What was the question? Judy, Kirk, make any trades? B-Rob's a nice sell high. He's also a nice hold, but he's a nice sell high if you need to make some moves. Aiyuk is hard to sell injured. He was a great sell high going into last week, but you could potentially sell Aiyuk and B-Rob for one bigger player. You could also trade like Kirk and B-Rob for A.J. Brown. You could probably trade, because you got Bijan and Pollard. I'm not worried about your running backs. You got great wide receivers as well, but you take B-Rob and Kirk and turn it into A.J. Brown. That's pretty good. I would probably do that. Some people would say hold on to B-Rob, and I can't blame them, but I'm going to sell high on B-Rob personally. Superflex PPR 10-man league. Should I trade Pacheco, McKinnon for London and Dalvin Cook? Yes, I would do that in a heartbeat. That is a very, very easy trade for me to make. Very easy. All right, next super chat's from Mason. Mason, my boy. Mason, Pollard for Jacobs, Gibbs, and Aiyuk. I'd rather have the group of three, bro, and then I'd probably try and flip Jacobs. I'm not feeling Jacobs right now, but that still doesn't mean that isn't a boatload for just Pollard. I like Pollard a lot, but you've got a lot of players in that you can move around too. 10-team PPR, 1 QB, 1 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, 1 tight end. Herbert, Chase, AJB, Ridley. Herbert, Chase, AJB, Ridley, Waddle, Kyron. 0-2, what do you do? I mean, Kyron's stepped up for you. I'm not saying to trade him, but you could potentially sell him high. I'd probably say, like, what can Waddle get me? Can Waddle get me a ETN? Can Waddle ETN would be great. Can Waddle get me Kamara and a receiver like Dotson so that you're not just losing Waddle outright? Dotson's very cheap. JT and Dotson. JT and said player. That's probably what I would do. Go after JT. Go after Kamara. Your team would be absolutely perfect for that running back addition. Because if you get a top 10 running back out of that, people are going to be pissed off. Lego with a 20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Steele says I didn't read a super chat. Steele, there's like 25 super chats probably in front of you. I'm getting to it, bro. Just relax. I'm coming for you. 14-team league. Non-PPR. Starting T-Law, Bijan, Javonte, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Laporta, Nico, bench, Kamara, JSN. It's a good team. Looking to buy low on Gibbs or A.J. Brown. This is very, very doable, I think, with your squad. Wilson for A.J. Brown straight up is an interesting move. Nico is a very tradable asset right now, and you could couple him with a potential Javonte. Nico and Javonte could get you Gibbs. Nico and Javonte could get you A.J. Brown. Not in every scenario, but some people would do that. Laporta and Nico. I wouldn't trade Kamara. I wouldn't trade Ridley. I wouldn't trade Bijan. I wouldn't trade T-Law. I think you're looking really solid here. I guess would I give Kamara for Gibbs? I wouldn't mind that if you wanted to go that route. But I wonder if Nico and JSN, and potentially, God, Joshua Kelly crapped the bed. If he had a good game, you could potentially use him. Javonte and Nico, just try it. If you can't get him that way, then I suppose Garrett Wilson. You could go Garrett Wilson for Gibbs. Garrett Wilson and Nico for Gibbs and somebody. Maybe you get a Dotson. Maybe you get a Christian Watson sleeping on his team and he doesn't respect Christian Watson. You do something like that. Any word on Hunt? No, not yet, bro. Hunt's definitely in the mix. Charles, I didn't miss your super chat. I'm sure it's coming. I'm doing my best, bro. This is like a busy restaurant where everybody needs a table, and I'm doing my best. Once you get a table, you're going to love the establishment and your seat and your view and the service. So hang tight. Still liking Ramondre for Gibbs straight up. I like Gibbs more than Ramondre, but for the long term. But for right now, do I feel like Ramondre's safer? Probably. But am I rooting for Gibbs to outscore him and be the guy that everybody wants over Ramondre? Yes. So it's going to be a difficult day the moment Gibbs does get fed and we're out here screaming and yelling. But at the same time, if you want safety, Ramondre is safer. I mean, that's just the honest truth, bro. I wish celebrate the first super chat from Mo. Mo, I'm coming for you, pal. Appreciate you. Tristan, thank you so much for your super chat. Appreciate you. This one's from Jeremy. I have Love and T-Law, and I'm thinking about trading T-Law and B-Rob for Swift. Thoughts? If T-Law is your backup quarterback, I would do that in a millisecond. Yes, absolutely. Okay, this one I'm going to go in order which they're received, so hang tight. This one here is from, this one's from Young. Young dropping a $2 hauler. Young, appreciate you. Your boy needs his first whiteboard, says Smitty. I'm going to try, bro. I can't do a whiteboard right now off of that, but we'll hopefully open the phone lines in a little bit. Okay, so hang tight. Professor Stroke dropping a $2 hauler. Hill and Swift for Bijan and Puka. Hill and Swift for Bijan and Puka. Bro, that's... Man. Can we get a vote on this one? Can we get a vote on this one from the chat? Bijan and Puka or Hill and Swift? Good Lord. This is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see the vote. I feel like this vote's going to be 50-50. Let's see what everybody says. Because I know people love Puka. I'm wondering what the Puka love is going to... how it's going to flip this trade or weigh it down. Let's see. Puka and Bijan or Swift and Hill. Hill and Swift. Hill and Swift. Hill and Swift. Take the trade. Hill, Swift, Hill. Bijan side, Hill. I'm surprised there aren't more Bijan sides, to be honest. There are some, but there's a lot more Hill. Hill side, Hill Swift, Hill Swift. Hill Swift, Hill Swift. Hill Swift. Bijan is running back one, says Ronnie. Bijan and Puka by far. These guys are all over the place. All over the place now. Now it's a lot more Bijan, but there's still more Hill. Puka, Bijan. Bijan, then flip Puka. I mean, that's a thought too. Like if you did take the Bijan Puka side and you could turn Puka into a player that you like even better than Puka, it could work out really well. Man, that's tough. That is tough. I'd probably say... I'd say it's pretty even, man. I'd say it's pretty even. I'd probably lean toward the Hill Swift side by a hair, but that could change literally momentarily. It's so close, bro. That is one of the closest trades I've seen all day. JT or Breece Hall rest of season? I'm going to go Breece Hall. But I love JT. He's a buy low for a reason. Dan, I picked up Cousins. Just sit him. Just stick with him with Love. I'd probably start Love personally, but they're so close, bro. And Cousins is like a top 3 quarterback over 2 weeks so far. So, you know, you're not crazy to start him at all. At all. But I would probably lean Love this week, but you play it week by week. A guy dropped Goddard, struggle, who... struggling with blow fab on him. I got a tight end, lost Eckler, Akers. I could go Ford, Dobbs for Reynolds. I don't think I blow the fab on Goddard. Goddard's a nice ad for sure. But I think, if you're struggling, you got Eckler out, you could potentially put like half on Ford, half on Goddard, I guess. But it's tough to know. I don't know your league. But I don't think Goddard he's good. I wouldn't say he's a full load drop, but he's close. Monthly marker budget. Thank you, Kilpatrick, dropping the $9.99, replenishing the marker fund. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. He's like, Smitty's not doing marker board because he's out of markers, probably. Drop Hollywood for Nico and Kincaid for Hunter Henry. I mean, you can make arguments for both of those. I'm not dropping Kincaid, though. I'd pick up Henry, but I'm not dropping Kincaid. Would I drop Hollywood for Nico? Probably. Nico is that good right now. Nico deserves that kind of consideration. Brian with a $1.99 super chat, nothing attached to it. Appreciate you, Brian, for dropping that love. Appreciate you, my man. I am Jedi says Ridley. Ridley, Pollard, Pitts, or Kelsey, JT, Cook. Ridley, Pollard, Pitts, Kelsey, JT, Cook. Oh, bro. I'd probably say, God, you're banking on JT though. Like, I think right now Ridley, Pollard's better, obviously, but could JT and Kelsey be better long term? It really could. But I think I roll with Ridley, Pollard now because, I mean, JT's not back right now. You're losing games. And trading JJ, Brees, Deontay Johnson for Bijan, Swift, and Garrett Wilson. JJ Brees, I'm not trading JJ Brees. Bijan, Swift, and Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I'll take Bijan, Swift, and Garrett Wilson. That's so hard. That is so hard. I venture to say some people just don't trade JT, like no matter what the trade is. They just say, no, you don't trade JJ. I'm sorry, JJ. You don't trade JJ, but like you got to look at the context there. You're getting three really good players. Got T-Law for Cousins. I mean, you could argue Cousins over T-Law. You could, but I do love T-Law as a buy low. I love him as a buy low. Love off waivers. Is that a good move? Absolutely. Love probably should be your starter this week, even over T-Law. You know what I'm saying? Like until you see T-Law bounce back, and Love's been playing great. I'm 0-2. Trade my Garrett Wilson and Kittle to receive Brees Hall, Hollywood Brown, and Goddard. I would take the Brees Hall side because I truly believe in Brees Hall, and I think everybody is just off the rocker on this one. Running away from him after 1 week when he blew up in week 1 with like no touches. Trade for Mixon, James Cook, Walker, Stevenson, offer. Trade for Mixon, James Cook, Walker, Stevenson to offer. Trade for Mixon. I'd rather have James Cook than Mixon right now. I'd rather have Walker than Mixon. I'd rather have Stevenson for Mixon. So I don't want Mixon in any of those scenarios. You could trade James Cook for Mixon, right? I guess straight up, but I don't think anybody in the chat would do that. James Cook had a really good day, bro. I don't think that would be a wise move. I don't think Mixon's the answer. Dropped Daniel Jones for Mac Jones. Was that a mistake? No. I think they both have their potential. Steele, here's your super chat. I traded Aiyuk for Gibbs. I'll take my lap. Why are you going to take your lap? I traded Aiyuk for Gibbs. I'll take my lap, but I also have Diggs. I like that trade, Steele. I would trade Aiyuk for Gibbs as well. So you're in good company. Or we're both in bad company. I don't know which one it is, but we're together. Would you drop Pat Freiermuth for Sam Laporta? Probably. Howard, I probably would. Detroit Dabbler traded Derrick Henry for Amon-Ra today. A mistake, I think, to be announced, but I don't know that it's a mistake. I think that they're both very arguable. I'd probably rather have St. Brown. I would draft I drafted St. Brown over Henry. Nothing's changed. Should I drop Muth or Njoku to pick up Hunter Henry? I would probably drop Njoku personally, but that's me. And I want to start Hunter Henry over both of them right now. Do I drop Kittle or Kincaid for Henry? I would trade Kittle and then pick up Hunter Henry. You got to be able to trade Kittle for something, bro. Like throw him into someone's gonna buy the name. Someone's gonna buy the name. Push comes to shove, I suppose you drop Kincaid briefly, but you make a move. You know, I don't know that I'm just gonna cut George Kittle or I think that could be a mistake. Sean with the $20 hauler, thank you, Sean. Icky with a $20 hauler, thank you, Icky. Jeremy with a $20 hauler, thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate all of you, all three of you. I'm coming for your super chats next. All $20 haulers get immediate assistance. Thank you guys so much for dropping those. Let me put that right there. So this one, I would definitely be very, very careful about this dropping. Julio says, damn, Smitty left me waiting for a table. I know, bro. Just hang tight, Julio. I don't know where you dropped yours in, but I'm coming for you. Thank you, Julio. I'm coming for you. What are you? I don't even know when you are. You're a ways down, Julio. Your table is not even ready yet. There's someone still eating at that table, I think, Julio. When did you drop it? $20 hauler, 10-team PPR, Burrow, CMC, Ramondre, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Dotson, Hawkinson. Any moves with this team? Look, hopefully you got good news today on Burrow. You listened to what I said. If you didn't, then what I said was they basically said that he's better today than he was the last couple days. So things are trending in the right direction, but still a risk. Ramondre, CMC, Amon-Ra, Dotson, Flowers. It's a really good team. JT waiting in the wings. I don't know that there's a lot of moves to make here. Trade Bijan for Ramondre and London. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think if you try and... Oh, wait, hold on. Trade Bijan for... You're saying you're trading Ramondre and London away because you don't even have Bijan. So, yes, take Bijan. Ramondre and London for Bijan. The way you worded that, Bijan for Ramondre. The way you guys word stuff sometimes, it's reversed and it just... But you don't have Bijan, you have Ramondre, so I'm just going to tell you the side I want. Go give Bijan. Bijan in a millisecond. I like that trade idea. But I don't know you're going to pull it off. You know, try. But I think it's a pipe dream offer, but certainly try. Past that, bro, I'm waiting on this team. You got JSN, JT. Trade Jordan Love maybe. Or start Jordan Love and trade Joe Burrow. You know, part of me feels like depending on what you could get for Love, I would maybe bank on Burrow. But at the same time, if it's not something astronomically helpful, why not just hold the safety of Love in case Burrow goes down and you can not lose your league? You might be a candidate to hold on to Love because your team's good enough to win. I'm probably going to stand down on trading much. I let another week play out before I make any crazy moves, but I would do that Bijan move. Just want to show you my appreciation, man. Thank you, Icky, for the $20 hauler. Icky,
To the moon.
Icky, let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Icky, what a man. What a man, what a man, what a man. What a mighty 20 super chatting man. Sean with a 20 spot on screen.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Sean, appreciate you coming in strong. I'm 0-2. I lost Dobbins, Rodgers, and recently Saquon. Starting Russ, Gibbs, Gus, AJ, Lockett, Flowers. Man, you got kicked in the nads hard, bro. That's not your fault. What can you do here? Saquon, the news today that he might come back. Maybe you sell him for 2 players, bro. You go look at a Debo owner. Go look at a Christian Watson owner. Go look at a ETN owner. Go look at a potential A.J. Brown owner. See if you can get 2 players for Saquon, starting with one of those pieces. Those are your anchors to the trade. Debo and even like I don't want to say Pierce is almost too low, but like that kind of thinking. Can you get an RB? You know, even if you were to bank on like Kyron and AJ Brown for Debo, like something like that might be a move you need to make this team get back into the swing. Lockett said, oh, you got AJ Brown. I saw the AJ right there. Lockett, try for Ridley using that same logic, but he's probably going to be hardest to buy. Debo's very good to buy low right now. ETN's kind of cheaper than he should be. Lockett for Debo. Keep AJ Brown. Keep Gibbs. Lockett and Russ to maybe upgrade at quarterback. Flowers is good. This is tough, bro. Roshan's got to step up for you. You need some swings, man. You need some big swings, but Saquon's probably off this news. See if you can divide him into 2 players. You might have to wait till he comes back. JT, Kamara are also nice thoughts. It's a risky move for you because you're banking on those guys returning, and you got to wait on them. But JT and Kamara are fantastic go-get players. Like if you could go get Kamara and a Dotson, or a Kamara and especially like a Christian Watson who's underrated. Pickens was a great example last week of a bounce back. So Dotson still could do that. If you got Kamara and Dotson for an injured Saquon, it might be a pretty good move for you, bro. JT as well. $20 hauler from Bunk. Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Bunk coming in strong. Hey, Smitty, I appreciate all you do, bro. Who you trade Garrett Wilson and Swift for, or would I trade Garrett Wilson and Swift for Gibbs and Lockett or Mike Williams? No. I like Gibbs, bro, but I'm not trading Swift and Garrett Wilson for Gibbs. I don't think Lockett is enough for me, but I know others might disagree. Would anybody take Gibbs and Lockett for Swift and Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson scored 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks. I think people are just completely writing him off. Frags, I didn't miss your super. If my mods could remind everybody that I'm going through these super chats, everybody continuously saying I missed their super chat. I haven't got to it yet. I'm trying, bro. There's about, look at all the super chats that are up above. I'm getting to you, pal. I'm getting to you. Hang tight. I wouldn't do that. Any other moves to make? Your team is Fields, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Bijan, Pollard, Godwin. It's a really good team. I would probably roll with this team, bro. I don't know, unless you're trading Garrett Wilson for A.J. Brown, unless you're trading Garrett Wilson for Debo and Dameon Pierce or something crazy like that, or Kyron and Debo for Garrett Wilson, like something like that. But I think A.J. Brown's a nice go-get. I think you are also a great candidate to try and get a JT or Pollard, or I'm sorry, JT or Kamara. I think you're also a great candidate for the Debo, Christian Watson combination of players. I don't trade Bijan. I don't trade Pollard. I don't trade Ridley. I would definitely entertain Swift and Garrett Wilson deals, but I don't know. Like if you're getting rid of Garrett Wilson for Gibbs, I can understand that. If you're getting rid of Swift and Godwin for a big name player, I would consider that. But this team with Pollard, Bijan, Swift, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Fields is pretty crafty. And I probably bunk before I make a move. I let it play out one more week unless you get some crazy awesome offer at your doorstep, because that team, there's a lot of guys that need to do well, bro, before you start making moves and trading them off. This one here is from Marty, 0.5 PPR bench, Kamara, JSN Flowers, A-Chain, Charbonnet, Bigsby. Drop A-Chain for Tank Dell. Probably I would if you need a wide receiver, but I could also say the same thing if you needed a running back, bro, because they're both on my waiver wire list. I like both of them an awful lot this week, and I think that either one of them could be not a league winner, but assist you in winning a league. You know what I mean? So when you look at A-Chain down here on this list, he's a guy to go get this week, so it's not like this is an easy call. Tank Dell is probably higher ranked for me, but A-Chain could be a league winner. He's just a little bit of way before, that comes to fruition. This one's from Chris. Was this a good trade? I gave Burrow, Javonte for Love, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I could get behind that trade. That's not a bad trade at all, bro. Could go both ways, but I do like it. Trade London and Javonte for Godwin and Roshan and Najee. I don't know that I love this trade in general. It's like I like Love the most right now, and I still believe in Javonte, in terms of talent, but is his situation going to be good all year? Godwin, Roshan. I love Roshan, but when's that going to unfold? Najee looks like trash. Is he going to lose his job? I don't know. I suppose I would probably lean toward the... God, man, I just don't know if not you can get rid of Najee. Like, I would lean toward the Najee side to trade Najee, but what if no one would take him? What are you guys thinking on this trade? Would you rather have London, Javonte, or Godwin, or London and Javonte, or Godwin, Roshan, Najee? I probably lean London and Javonte slightly and bank on Javonte eventually getting on his horse, bro, because I know the talent's there. I know the talent's there, bro. I know it. But do I think he'll get it? I don't know if he'll get the ball, bro. I don't know. I wish I knew. But I also feel like the same about Najee. I feel like Najee's going in the wrong direction. London side all day, says Travis. Yeah. I agree. Thank you, Travis, for letting people know I'm getting to their super chats. I wish I could go faster. I'm trying as fast as I can. Running back to trade for, waiver wire, order number 2. If Ford gets taken before my pick, team is Herbie. Make sure Kyron's not there. Herbie, Love, Saquon, Sanders, AK, Alvin Kamara, Roshan, Garrett Wilson, Evans, Higgins, Addison. This is a really good team. Your receivers are fantastic. The only thing I would maybe look to do if it's a 1 QB is try and trade Jordan Love or Herbert with Saquon to get a slightly safer player. Trade Sanders and Love or Sanders and Herbie for a Ridley, for a Gibbs. Saquon for a Gibbs straight up if you could do that. If you've got to give up another player in addition to do that, like a Herbert or Love, make sure you get somebody back that can help your lineup. But I'd definitely go that route as well. Casio, appreciate you, my man. 10-team league, PPR, Fields, Bijan, Swift, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Kincaid, Debo, bench, Brees. Suggestions, also start Brees or Swift. I go Swift right now until further notice. And suggestions, probably just waiting on this team unless you can upgrade Fields somehow. Go after T-Law. Fields and T-Law trade isn't a bad idea. It's safer. Christian Kirk could be thrown into that mix to try and get a deal done. I don't think you can get Justin or Jalen Hurts anymore. Jalen Hurts would be phenomenal get in terms of a trade, but he was a great buy low last week. I probably leave this team alone before I do much. I think Fields is somebody you shouldn't necessarily give up on, but at the same time, also start Brees. Swift over Brees for now. Debo's fantastic. Dotson, Kamara's waiting to get in. Addison could get you a lot. Maybe you could trade Addison and get like T-Law. You know, and I hate to say do that, but you got him on your bench and your receivers are solid, bro. So you can maybe do that. Kirk is definitely tradable as well. Alex, appreciate your super chat. Definitely try and upgrade that quarterback or back up that quarterback a little bit just in case Fields isn't the real deal. It sucks, man. I wish he was. Uncle Philly coming in with a $20 hauler. Appreciate Uncle Philly. My main man, Philly, coming in with the 20 spot on screen. Philly, let's ride, Philly. Let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Philly, the Philmeister. Trade away Kyron to get Puka. I would take Puka. My wide receivers are St. Brown, Dotson. But let's be clear here. Puka and Kyron are both blowing up. And part of it is this offense and the way they spoon feed people, and injuries likely with both of them. I mean, Puka's injured right now, but probably plays, right? But I mean, they're both really good. Kyron's a top 5 running back right now. So, I mean, like, Puka's getting all this love when Kyron's been doing the same thing, if not, in some cases better. And it's just everyone's so enamored by Puka, but Kyron's there. Kyron's doing the same thing. So this is a very, very close trade. But would I rather have Puka right now? Probably. But it's close. It's a close call. It depends on if you need a wide receiver, you need a running back. I don't think there's anything wrong with trading Puka and Kyron and Puka. They're both exactly the same. Saint says Tony or Puka. Puka by a mile, bro. At this point, I mean, everybody should be on board. Especially over Tony. Tony doesn't deserve that. 10-man PPR. Hurts, Richardson, Bijan Hall, James Cook, Lamb, Godwin, Andrews, Dotson, Judy, JSN, Odell, Charbonnet, Bigsby. Trade thoughts. Probably say, bro, you're trading. If it's a two super flex league, then you're set at quarterback. If this 2 flex is not super flex, then you got to trade one of your quarterbacks. But absolutely, I mean, you don't have to. But if you want to make a move, you should. Bijan and Hall, love it. James Cook is sellable, but you don't necessarily sell him for nothing, right? Godwin and Cook for an AJ Brown type player or above Ridley. James Cook and Godwin could maybe get you Ridley, could maybe get you AJ Brown. I think both are very, very good buy lows right now. That's probably where I'd take this if I were you. James Cook for Kamara or JT. I still actually like a move like that. Some people would say hang on to James Cook, and I don't blame them, but that's where I would take this team. Appreciate you. Drop Dobbs for Nico. I don't hate that. Thank you, my guy, Jared. This is Tanner. Tanner with the trade Puka and Najee for Swift and Zay Flowers. I'd rather have Swift and Zay Flowers. I don't want to say a ton because I like the Puka side, but I definitely feel like Zay Flowers is really good. Hypothetically, Cousins gets traded to the Jets. What does that do for Jefferson? Horrible for Jefferson. Drops out of the top 10? No, but he's certainly not one. He's probably going to be like where Chase is right now, where you're like, okay, is he 3, 4, 5, 6? Like without Cousins, it depends who's in there, but that would be devastating. And I know a lot of people think it's not possible, but it is possible. It just depends on the Vikings. It depends on how things unfold for the Vikings. I mean, it's also the Vikings have had a desire to move on from Cousins, which I know a lot of people are going to say why. Maybe this year makes them not want to, but it's just something that we hear every offseason. Now, I don't know that it's going to happen. The Vikings are 0-2, so a lot does depend on what happens there, with the remaining next couple weeks and what happens with the New York Jets and if they can win. But it's certainly something that is hard to imagine happening, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. It's a really good question, though. Drops out of the top 10? No. Wilson, top 3. With Cousins, he would definitely be back in the 3 to 5 mix. He'd be right where he was with Aaron Rodgers, potentially. Maybe even higher because of the way that he force feeds players. Good question. Great question and on a lot of people's minds, so I'm glad you brought it up. Just got offered A.J. Brown for my Cooper Kupp. Should I take it? I would take A.J. Brown and run. Even though Cooper Kupp could come back, A.J. Brown's a great buy low right now. Trade Kyron Williams for Debo. I would be okay with that on either side. You need a running back. Kyron's proving it right now. But he is still a little bit of an enigma, a mystery. But, I mean, at the same time, Debo's fantastic. He's on my buy low list. I don't think you made a bad move. I don't think either of you did. I think it was a very good move if you both needed that position. 10-team PPR, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. Trade Pollard and Nico for JJ to the Chubb owner. For JJ. I would take JJ in a millisecond over Pollard and Nico. 100%. I don't know that you're going to pull that off, but good luck, and please inform us if you do so we can hit the take a lap button for him. $10 hold Gibson or drop for Spears. I'm not holding Antonio Gibson. I'd take Spears. I'd take Spears over Reynolds. I'd take Kyron over both of them. I would take Ford over everybody but Kyron that we just mentioned. 10-team. Henry, Bijan, Brees, JT, Warren, Gibson, wide receivers, Ridley, DK, Dotson, Sutton. Very good team. Very, very good squad. Don't give up on DJ Moore, Fields, and Anthony Richardson. You're going to go Anthony Richardson until further notice. Your team's very, very good. Maybe keep both those quarterbacks in your situation because, Anthony Richardson runs and he's already gotten hurt, so you want both those quarterbacks in there. Fix with a $10 hauler, 0-2, 12-man PPR. Any moves to consider? Deshaun Watson, I'd get rid of that if you can. Upgrade him. Bijan, Walker, Olave, London, Kelsey, Pacheco. Very good team. On the bench, I don't see Jonathan Taylor's the only great player here. Fab, Tank Dell, or Ford. I'd probably go after, if I'm you, I'd probably go after Ford because you have, I guess I go after Ford because I feel like he could get you more in trade. I don't know. Ford and Tank Dell are very close depending on need. Your needs kind of split. I'd say your needs quarterback. So what could get you the most in a trade? A running back or a wide receiver? Probably a running back. So maybe you bank on Ford. JT. Part of me wonders if you could go get give up Deshaun Watson and JT for a Jalen Hurts for Deshaun Watson and freaking Pacheco or Deshaun Watson. I don't know what else you have on your bench. You got to have something. Deshaun Watson and Ford for some sort of Burrow, scared, petrified Burrow owner. You could potentially go that route. T-Law for Watson, you throw in Ford if you pick him up. Hopefully the T-Law owner is the Nick Chubb owner, and then you could throw him Ford and give him Watson. Ford and Watson, Browns duo. Those are just a few options, but Fix, you got to kind of wait and see if you can get Ford and what you can do with them. But Ford's definitely a good add, and I think potentially leads to some trades for you. Hopkins and Mike Evans for A.J. Brown. I'd rather have Mike Evans than Hopkins. Mike Evans is better than A.J. Brown right now, and I'm not saying that doesn't change. It could, but I don't think I'm getting rid of another player in addition to that. Najee or Pacheco this week, Smitty. I'm going to go Najee, but I hate both of them, to be honest, this week. I don't hate Pacheco. They just don't use him enough. I'm very disappointed in how they use him. I'm very, very mad that they don't use him. He looks so good when they do use him. So I'll probably go Najee for now, but let's play that by ear walking into the games, bro. Hey, Smitty, would you drop Dalvin Cook for Ford? I would take Ford right now over Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook does not look good. Thank you for the super chat, my man. This one's from Michael Vaughn. Michael with a $5 hauler. Appreciate you. 2 QB, lost Chubb, and my team is Burrow, Purdy, Tyreek, Ridley, Debo, Puka, Flowers, Javonte, Monty, Dillon. Trade Tyreek, Puka for Olave, Waddle. Trade Tyreek and Puka for Olave, Waddle. No, Tyreek and Puka is better. Puka's, right there with those guys in some sense, bro. So I don't know that I'm doing that. I don't know that I'm doing that at all. Let's see here, super chat. What is this? This is from Jeremy. I have T-Law. I think this is the one I have that I just put on here. I have Love and T-Law, and I'm thinking about trading T-Law and Brian Robinson for Swift. I think I already got to that one, actually. Thank you for the super chat, bro. If I miss, I'm gonna get down here and complete these, and I'll eventually ask you if I missed anybody. Okay, this one's from Mr. Frost. Mr. Frost with a $5 hauler. 0-2, Burrow, Pollard, Brees, Gibbs, Chase, DJ Moore, Muth, Love, Charbonnet, Tony, JSN. Any moves or hold? I'd probably say I love your team, bro. I love your team. You're banking on Burrow. I let this ride. You're going to start Love if Burrow is even remotely banged up and hope that Chase still gets the work done and eventually Burrow can get back into your lineup for sure. I don't even know that you need to do any trade Love away and bank on Burrow. I think I keep Love as that safety net, and there's nothing to move. This is a whole team for sure. For sure. That's a really good squad. Is Hunt worth the bench spot? In some context, but it depends who you're dropping. I don't know that he's taken the job. He's got to Ford's got to get hurt. It's Ford's job to lose. Wide receiver I could get with D-Hop and Miles Sanders. Debo. Try for Ridley. You're probably not going to get it. A.J. Brown would be fantastic. But Debo is a really good option. Boone. 12 team, 0.5. Josh Allen, Waddle, London, MT, Addison, J. Will, Dobbs, K9, Brees, JT. Got great running backs. Great tight end. 0-2. Josh Allen's phenomenal. Waddle, London, MT. Very, very good team. A.J. Brown's a thought. Calvin Ridley's a thought. Addison and London for Ridley. Addison and London for A.J. Brown. Addison and London for St. Brown. I'm poking around at all those things. Javonte Williams, Addison, and London for St. Brown. I'm poking around at all of that, bro. Rashad White and Addison for, even Rashad White and Addison for an A.J. Brown if you like A.J. Brown to bounce back, or a Ridley. I think all those are doable for you, bro. They're all in the realm of possibility. Just keep throwing them out. We get more useful information for fantasy purposes on Sunday of week 1 than the entire 6 months leading into it. We need these revolving lists. Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate you having an understanding for what the process is here. Thank you. Appreciate you. Smart man. Start Love or Goff if Burrow doesn't play. Love over Goff. Love has been proving it. I'm not sitting Love at all. Stops, appreciate your super chat. I don't see any question attached to this, so I'll have to go look for if there's potentially another question later on. Again, when these came through a while ago, I don't have it in front of me. Mark Cleveland with a $10 hauler. Mark Cleveland says, I got Puka off waivers. Oh, I already answered this one. Thank you, Mark, for dropping that. You are the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Cleveland himself. Same thing for little Nicky dropping a blank super chat. I will have to go look over somewhere in the chat later to try and find maybe if you were trying to ask a question. This one's from Chris with a super chat. Whoops. Chris with the super 12 man. God, my system's crawling right now. I got to restart soon. Not now, but 12 man full PPR. Josh Allen, Hunt, A-Chain, Mostert for St. Brown and Love. 12-man full PPR. Come on. This thing is going nuts. 12-man PPR. Josh Allen, Hunt, A-Chain, Mostert for St. Brown and Love. I take St. Brown and Love. Dude, that's tough. It's tough to trade away Josh Allen. You know what I mean? But I do that. T-Law, Ford, Hopkins, Andrews for Burrow and Kelsey. T-Law, Ford, Hopkins, Andrews. Give me Burrow and Kelsey. You're taking a risk, but it's definitely a good move for me, in my opinion. I would do that. Pittman for London and Thielen. I take London. Wide receiver still have Flowers and Dodds. Yeah, I mean, look, London I like better. Money Mitch, I like London better. Jay with the $5 hauler. Have Love on the bench. Trade Josh Allen, Connor Watson for Burrow, Javonte, Garrett Wilson. Josh Allen, Connor Watson for Burrow, Javonte, Garrett Wilson. I'd probably say Josh Allen, Connor Watson, but then I trade Connor. So I'm going to say that side, but then I trade Connor high. Not that I hate him, but I just think that there's going to be some problems there for him to continue to do what he's doing. But he's looking good, and you could easily get like a Debo. You could easily get, you might even get something crazy like an ETN or a Gibbs. Try to trade Connor and something for Gibbs, Connor and something, James Connor and something for Breece Hall. What do you do? Gave Herbert and Keenan Allen for Breece and Joe Burrow. I would rather have Breece and Joe Burrow, but there is some risk involved, Gonzalez, for that. There is some risk involved, but I would take it on. I gladly take on that risk. I'm not scared of that, but there's certainly risk. You got to be a dice roller for that. 10-team league, 0-2. Would you make any moves or let it ride? Herbert, Ramondre, Kyron, Chase, Waddle, Pitts, Olave, benches, Swift, and MT. I let it ride, but at the same time, I'm looking at like Christian Watson and Kyron. Can that be an upgrade? And Kyron's playing out of his mind. Could I use Christian Watson to upgrade Herbert even a little bit, to Josh Allen or Mahomes or something? Swift is kind of got to get in your lineup somehow. So that's why I'm thinking like Kyron and Waddle for like a top 4 wide receiver, something of that nature. If not, if you can't get those moves done, don't trade those guys. Hold out and wait because you have a lot of depth. Julio said, I missed the super chat a long time ago, but here it is, Julio. Fields, Swift, Brian Robinson, Diggs, Waddle, Kelsey, Keenan Allen, Judy, Flowers, Purdy, Warren. Who should I buy and sell? Swift and Diggs and Kelsey are my do not moves. Keenan Allen and Waddle and Brian Robinson, I'd be tempted to just poke around. I love Flowers. So I'm not moving Flowers. Maybe you could trade Brian Robinson and Keenan Allen for a Ridley or a St. Brown or higher, but it has to be higher. Maybe you could trade for a Pollard using Brian Robinson and Waddle, Brian Robinson and Keenan Allen. Those are the moves that I'm looking to make with this team. Would I trade a Waddle and Brian Robinson for Tyreek Hill? Absolutely. Would I trade a Brian Robinson and Keenan Allen for a Jamar Chase with the risk of Joe Burrow? Probably. Would I try and get a Josh Allen or Mahomes using Fields and let's say a Keenan Allen or Fields and probably a Brian Robinson? I probably would rather have Josh Allen or Mahomes. I think that they carry you and they're just smart players to go get, but it's got to be up to you how you want to navigate that quarterback situation. 10 teams, Lawrence, Gibbs, Ridley. So here's a comment here from Cito. Cito, I'm not mad at you for this, but you say Smitty says sell Keenan Allen all day. Ugh. Like, don't you think I've gained a little bit of, like, I'm not saying I've hit everything, bro. I'm missing stuff like all of us, left and right. That's the nature of fantasy. But my avoid players have been pretty on point, bro. And I'm not saying Keenan Allen isn't doing well. And I've never said Keenan Allen wasn't talented. And I never said Keenan Allen couldn't be a top 10 wide receiver per start. But Keenan Allen getting injured is pretty highly likely. And what are you going to say later that I got lucky on it if Keenan Allen ends up missing 5-6 games later on because he's older and he has some kind of nagging injury? That's all I'm saying, Cito. That's all I'm saying. You can come in later and say that I was lucky on it, but I'm telling you, like, am I selling high on Keenan Allen? Yeah, because what's the definition of selling high? Giving up something for a lot, and even if you're wrong, you're not wrong because you're buying somebody low that you love as much as Keenan Allen, even popping off. So in a worst case scenario, if you do the right kind of buy low and sell high, even if Keenan Allen does amazing, bro, even if Keenan Allen does amazing, and doesn't burn you again, as some are saying in the chat. People have been burned by Keenan Allen tons of times. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, not going to happen with Keenan Allen. If I'm wrong and Keenan Allen balls out, I may not even be wrong, because if you buy low properly, you'll both win the trade. In a buy low, sell high opportunity, the worst case scenario for you is you both win. That's what you got to look at, bro. 0.5 PPR, 10 teams, Lawrence and Gibbs for Ridley and A.J. Brown. Depends what you need. If you need a quarterback, this is a great move. But I'm leaning toward Ridley and A.J. Brown in general, just in a vacuum, the Ryan, without knowing any details about the quarterback situation. Like, if you've got a quarterback, I don't know that makes a lot of sense. Even if you got Burrow, it doesn't make a lot of sense. 10-team PPR, 1 QB, Herbert, Chase, AJB, Ridley, Waddle, Kyron, Collins, Mostert, Hunter Henry. I'm 0-2. What do I do? I'd probably say with this team, you got lit wide receivers. I'm tempted to go trade Waddle and Kyron for a Pollard. I'm tempted to go trade a Waddle and Kyron for a player even higher than that. I'm tempted to trade Mostert and Kyron for a potential Breece Hall or Gibbs. I'm trading Mostert and Waddle for a Gibbs or higher. I'm trading Waddle and Kyron for Bijan, which probably won't happen. Throw in Mostert probably won't happen. Throw in Collins probably won't happen, but just throwing it out there, just in case somebody's sleeping at the wheel with Bijan. Look, there's some people that love Bijan, and there's some people that still believe that he's not going to get enough touches. So don't think you can't potentially go get Bijan. Thank you for your super chat. Sorry, missed it. Start Love or Goff. I'm starting Love. I can't sit Love right now. Love is the man. Love, Wilson, or DJ. What QB? Daniel Jones? You got to go Love, bro. You got to go Love. Love is on fire right now. These Love questions, the answer is Love. Sell high on Pickens. It depends on what you can get, but if you need an RB and you can get an ETN, you need an RB and you can get Hall or freaking Gibbs, and you only have to give up a little bit more or do it straight up, 100%. 100%. I get rid of them, but I mean, I do love Pickens. I love Pickens. I'm not selling Pickens low at all. 1-on-1 in a 14 team. Danny Dimes, Chase, Pickens, Christian Watson, Madison, Monty, Pierce, Roshan, Warren. Any trades, Chase and Dimes for Kelsey and Love? I would take Kelsey and Love over Chase and Dimes in a millisecond. Yeah, especially with the risk to Joe Burrow, even though there's some upside to getting him. There's some upside to trading away Burrow or Chase. I would take that in a millisecond, bro. Madison, I don't know if you can get rid of him anymore, but he was a total avoid for me. And I think you can maybe get rid of Madison and Pickens for an A.J. Brown if you wanted to go that route. You can maybe trade Madison and Pickens for an ETN or running back right around there. Gibbs, Breece Hall, those types of players. Madison and maybe a Monty. Madison and maybe a Christian Watson for a player. You know, I love Debo right now. Thank you, NP3. Appreciate you dropping that. Mo with the super chat. Mo's been waiting a while. Mo's first super chat, I think, ever, too. Mo, appreciate you. Hey, sup, Smitty? 10-team PPR. Burrow, running back Bijan, Gibbs, Swift, Javante, Roshan. Wide receivers are Olave, Garrett Wilson, Evans, Flowers, JSN, Waller, Kincaid. Love on waivers. Do I get him? Absolutely. Who do you drop? Probably... Oh, bro, you got such a tough team to, like, find a drop anywhere. I would say you got to almost drop. It sucks, but you almost got to drop like Kincaid. He's like, or Roshan. And I hate doing that. I probably, in your situation with Waller, I probably drop Kincaid right now. It's such a small bench league. I imagine Kincaid will stay there for a while. It's that or Roshan. Roshan being a running back, I just lean Roshan. I don't want you to miss on an opportunity to have a top 10 running back, and I do think Roshan could flirt with top 10 to 12 running back numbers at some point. Tua Pollard for Chase. Thank you again. Tua Pollard for Chase. If you need a quarterback, the Tua Pollard is better than Chase. If you don't need it, I understand why you would go Ja'Marr Chase. But even so, like Pollard and Tua is solid if you like are shaky at quarterback. So that depends on what's going on. Kamara, Garrett Wilson for CD. I'd rather have Kamara and Garrett Wilson over CD Lamb. And Garrett Wilson, again, has 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks, and people need to respect that. Traded Mostert, London for A.J. Brown, Khalil Herbert. I would take A.J. Brown's side by quite a bit. Nice job. Great play. Hold JT. Great job with your team, bro. That's absolutely awesome. True Penguin, 14-man, 3 wide receiver, 1 running back. QB's flex. Garrett Wilson, Olave, DJ Moore, Swift. Very solid team. Kamara on the bench waiting in the wings. I love it. Don't drop Charbonnet in case anything happens. Fields is tough, but at the same time, I still like him enough that I'm not like running from him, but I'm certainly like open-minded to trying to get into a better quarterback, but it's hard to sell him, so I doubt you really get a deal done, so you're almost forced to just ride the wave out. Garrett Wilson, Olave, DJ Moore is crafty. I love Swift. I love Christian Watson. I love Kamara. This is a kind of wait-and-see team. I don't know that you're selling many of these players high. Even Olave won't sell as high as you want him to. DJ Moore, maybe he could sell DJ Moore and like Swift for a Pollard or something, but do you even want to do that? Swift could be amazing. I think you wait on Kamara and this team starts doing great things. You hold Roschon, you hold Charbonnet to protect yourself in case those guys get in there and you got a running back. I like this team a lot, though. I think you did a really good job, and I toy around with little small trades and ideas, but I don't know that I'm moving anything until they gain some value. $5 hauler, I have Mahomes, Kyron, Walker, Amari, Aiyuk, Flowers, Laporta. Thinking of trading Amari for Gibbs. I would do that in a millisecond. Is it a fair trade? Yeah, I think some would consider it fair, sure. And would I even throw in something small? I probably would consider it. Not a Kyron, not an Aiyuk or anything. Probably not even a Flowers, but if you've got something else that he wants, like a Collins or something, I probably would do it to get Gibbs. I think Breece Hall would be a fantastic get if that doesn't work out. Thank you for your super chat. Great idea right there. Jeremy with a $10 hauler. Jeremy, appreciate Jeremy for dropping the 10 spot on screen. Thank you so much, my guy. Jeremy, Burrow, CMC, Ramondre, Amon-Ra, Dotson, Flowers, Hawkinson, London. Potential trades, Bijan for Ramondre and London. I'd rather have Bijan over Ramondre and London. We already got to this one already anyway. But yes, that's definitely where I would take that. Go get Bijan. Ramondre and London for like a Gibbs and something. I would also explore for a Hall and something. I'd also explore. I don't see Hall or Gibbs on this team. So yeah, those would be good ones. London and potentially you got JT. I just saw that. That's great. I said Alvin Kamara is another good go-get if you want to potentially use some of the bench stuff, but I don't know that you can really trade any of the bench players there. London for Kamara is also something that I would entertain. Dotson and maybe, you could go to the Walker owner since you got Charbonnet, hold Charbonnet over their head, or try and give them a London and something for Walker, although Walker scoring 2 touchdowns might make him hard to get, so that might not be something that's easy. Thank you, Jeremy, for the super chat. Syndicate, appreciate you. I've got JT and Kamara 2-0. Can I go after Bijan with either one? I doubt it, bro, but you certainly could try. I think because they're getting closer to coming back, Kamara and JT are more tradable and are more attracted to go get. But I don't think anybody's trading Bijan off of that game. Even if people didn't like him in the game, they're like, he didn't get enough carries, though. Like, they heard so much hype about how good he was. He's the best running back in the league that I think they're probably not going to trade him. But you certainly could try. I don't think anybody would take both those guys for Bijan right now. I'm not saying to offer that. I'm just saying, I don't think anybody is. I'm not saying to not offer it either. But Bijan's going to be tough to get, bro. I think no one's going to give him up lightly. Josh, thank you for the $5 hauler. I don't see a message. I do see one down here. You did end up coming through with another message. Appreciate you, Josh. I'll pull it up now ahead since you did drop that one. This is a $5 from Josh. Josh says, what moves? My screen's acting up. 101, what moves, Smitty? Tua, Danny Dimes, Walker, Stevenson, Ridley, Waddle, Puka. Cup on the bench. You got Cup and Puka, which is interesting. You got Kyron and Monty and Kamara. Kamara, leave him be. No one's going to pay enough. I'm trading Kyron and Monty, or Kyron or Monty, or both of them with potentially like a... God, I wonder if you could just sell... Tua, Walker, Stevenson, Ridley, Waddle, Puka, and you got Cup to replace or come back in. You got Kyron. Kamara, this is a crafty, very deep team, bro. Would I trade Kyron and Tua to get Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts or Mahomes? That would be like the thing that I would be looking to do. Your team is so good that Monty or Kyron or even a potential, I don't want to see Puka to do that, but Tua could be amazing. Like, he had a great week 1, he had a mediocre week 2, and he could come out and just ball out. I still worry about him staying upright. But you could just bank on this team and sit on it for a while. Puka would be entertaining to trade away for like a Gibbs and something, and I think you probably could get in some cases. I've tried to trade Puka in one league, and I couldn't get anything for him. And then I've got Puka in another league, and I got a Jahmyr Gibbs and a player, I forget what receiver, Christian Watson, something like that. And not everybody's going to like that, but I needed a running back. I had deep wide receivers. So I could afford to do it, and I needed Jahmyr Gibbs, and I wanted Jahmyr Gibbs. But in some contexts, you're not going to get a Jahmyr Gibbs or a Breece Hall for Puka. And in some leagues, people wouldn't even do it. But I still think, given you have Kupp, it's interesting to hold both of them. But Kyron and Monty feel like you could use that. Like, if I could use Kyron and Monty to upgrade Tua, this team, to me, Josh, feels like it's going to win. You know, so that's probably what I would do. Go after Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. I wouldn't put Burrow in that wheelhouse because he's injured. Should I trade Jamar Chase and Pierce for Gibbs and Debo? I would take Gibbs and Debo pretty easily, bro. Pretty easily, Steve. That boy with a super chat got offered Anthony Richardson for Garrett Wilson for Watson and Amon-Ra. I kind of want to do it, yay or nay. It depends on your quarterback situation, bro. If you've got like Fields and you're just running away from that, it makes it hard to like do this, but I understand it. I'd probably say St. Brown and Watson are more valuable to me. But if you have zero quarterback or your quarterback went down, then it does make sense. And then I could Smitty approve it for your side. Herbert, Hill, Gibbs, or Goff, Amon-Ra. Hill, Gibbs, Goff, Amon-Ra. Give me Hill. Oh, JJ. I didn't see JJ until the bottom of this. JJ, Amon-Ra by far. And Goff. Goff's playing great anyway, bro. You know, and you could probably flip him if you didn't want to hang on to Goff. But, man, I didn't even see JJ till the end of that. Trade my Burrow for Kamara. Or Burrow, Quan for Fields, Kamara. Or Saquon for Gibbs straight up. So Burrow for Quan. Okay, so Burrow for Kamara. And I do both those. Burrow for Kamara. And I trade Saquon for Gibbs straight up. I do both of them. Smitty approved both. And you can do both, Young. You can do both. So I do both, and I do it live. Thank you, Vin, for the super chat. I don't see anything attached to it. I'll try and look later. You guys got to include it with there because by the time I get through these or get to them, I don't have your other message next to it or anything. So make sure you attach it, Joe. Or who is that? Vin. I'll go look though. Usually I can find something. London, Ingram, Ridley, and Connor for Mike Kelsey. London, Ridley, Ingram, and Connor for Mike Kelsey. Joe, that's a crazy one, Joe. My screen is completely acting nuts and freezing. London, Ingram, Ridley. I'd probably take the lot of players and then try and flip them though. You know, like Ridley's amazing, and Ridley's like arguably close to Kelsey. Kelsey's been banged up. I think he bounces back, but there's the threat that he's not the same guy this year or something with the knee injury. I would probably take Connor in London and try and flip it. And Ingram's playing like a top 5 tight end, so Connor in London for a Gibbs. And then all of a sudden, this Ridley Gibbs Ingram side's looking better than just Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely would be tempted to do that, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. Or tempted to stay with that side if that's the side you have. This one here from John, another one. 12-team 1-1 make moves, Smitty. Tua, Danny Dimes. I think we just did this one, right? Tua, Danny Dimes, Kenneth Walker, Stevenson, Ridley, Waddle, Puka, Kincaid, Kupp. Yeah, we did answer that. Thank you for dropping it again, Josh, appreciate you. Mike dropping a super chat, nothing attached. I'll try and go look for it later. Make sure you guys attach what you're asking inside the super chat, because it's not like by the time it comes around to me, I don't see your other message. I will try and come find your message later. Thank you. Shelby, appreciate your $10 hauler. Shelby to the moon. If I can get my screen to not act up. Part of it is I have so many messages on screen. It's absolutely crazy. Appreciate your $10 hauler. 12-man PPR. I'm 0-2, lost by close games. I have CMC, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Godwin, Judy, Devontae Smith, B. Hall, Henry. It's a good squad. It's a really good squad. It's just, CMC, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, and Swift and B. Hall are fantastic. I don't love the quarterbacks, but can you scrape by with Prescott? I guess, but can you go, you be a candidate to go get Fields and just say, you know what, let it ride. Give me Fields. I'll give you Dak Prescott. Hunter Henry's fun to sell high because I don't know. He's good, but I would be tempted to sell Godwin or Hunter Henry with one or both of your quarterbacks to go get Justin Fields. I'd also look at waivers. Past that, I really like this team. I don't touch the wide receivers. I don't touch the Swift and CMC room. I think that I'm just trying to upgrade the quarterback, and I'm looking at Fields. I'm looking at T. Law. I'm looking at giving both quarterbacks with Judy, both quarterbacks with Hunter Henry, with Godwin. And if you got to go light, tight end shopping off the waiver wire to fix the Hunter Henry hole that you create, it's worth it to get that quarterback upgrade. Dell versus Dotson rest of season. I'm gonna go right now Dotson, but that could change in one more week. Bigsby, Charbonnet for Ford. I would rather have. God, I don't think I can cut Charbs yet. I'd rather have Ford and maybe Charbonnet. Bigsby's so tempting because once he gets in there, if he gets in there, hopefully he doesn't get in there, that he could be a top 12 running back. James with the super chat. Burrow, Cook, Swift, Chase, Waddle, Waller, Olave, Monty's a really good team. Trade Waddle for Breece and Christian Watson. I would take Breece and Christian Watson. I think Christian Watson's going to surprise everybody once he gets in there. Everybody's just completely writing him off already. He's the number one wide receiver in Green Bay. And imagine how good Love's going to be when he gets his number one wide receiver back. $10
To the moon.
holler from my boy Alex. 0-2, have Burrow in a standard league. Any ideas? My team is Burrow, Geno Smith, Pollard, Walker, Sanders. I trade Sanders and Burrow for a slight quarterback upgrade. If you can somehow, some way slip into a player, or you trade Burrow down to T-Law, and you just say, I'm going to run the risk that Burrow blows up in my face in a good way for people that have Burrow and a bad way for you that trades Burrow away, but T-Law seems safer. Sanders is a good trade right now for upgrading a quarterback. Part of me wonders if you could take, you might have to wait on Christian Watson, but Mostert and Burrow for Mostert, Burrow and Sanders, Mostert, Burrow and Judy. Can that get you a doubted kind of Jalen Hurts, a doubted potential? Probably not going to get you Mahomes, but and Josh Allen just blew up, so you're not going to really get him. Those are all very, very close. I think moves for people if they are struggling at running back, you're giving them Mostert. They're struggling at wide receiver or tight end, you give them Goddard or Laporta. Somebody drop Geno for Love. Oh, there's your answer. I didn't even get to the end of your message yet. Drop Geno for Love. You should have already done that. Absolutely. And then you don't really have to make any moves. I still try and do those moves to get a Jalen Hurts. You might even be able to use Love at that point. Love and Sanders and Mostert to go get Jalen Hurts. But absolutely go get Love. I'd full load drop on my fab to go get Love, and should have got him last week, but it is what it is, bro, and you're going to rectify it this week, so nice job. Who should I flex? Mike Williams, Lockett, or Connor? I think Connor is a good play. It's tough this week. I think he's a tough play this week. He's got the Dallas Cowboys, right? That's a tough matchup. I'd probably say, Lockett's earned his keep right now. Mike Williams is a decent play, but I would say Lockett has earned his keep for right now. I still trade Lockett away. Old man Lockett, I'd get whatever I could, in terms of selling high, but I'd start Lockett this week.
To the moon.
This is a $10 hauler from Sammy. Appreciate you, Sammy. Have a trade question. Fields plus Jacobs or Kyron Williams. Which do you prefer? plus Pickens for Allen, London, or Collins. Which do you prefer? London over Collins. I prefer to give away. God, can I ask you guys a crazy question that we wouldn't have asked ourselves, or a lot of people wouldn't ask themselves this walking into week 1? Would somebody rather have Jacobs or Kyron Williams? Jacobs or Kyron Williams? What do you guys think in the chat? I can't wait to see the answer on this one. I don't know what you guys are going to say. Jeremy didn't mean to double message. Well, Jeremy, you get a double Moon Man shot. How's that?
To the moon.
I appreciate your double message. And Jeremy, if you have another question, I'll answer it right now. If you ask me the question right now, I'll be looking at the chat to help make up for your double message, right? So it feels worth it to you, okay? We got Kyron, Jacobs, Kyron, Jacobs, Kyron. Wow. Kyron. I mean, he's a top 5 running back right now. Kyron, Jacobs, Jacobs more proven. Jacobs, Kyron. Jacobs for sure. Jacobs rest of season. Bro. Isaac with his first super chat ever got offered. It's Christian Watson for my Addison. Addison's probably safer. Thank you for your first super chat ever. But do I like Christian Watson quietly? I do, bro. Wow, I don't know. I just think that Addison's worth more. So that's what one of my answers is going to be. Kyron and Dynasty, says Irving. Jacobs says E111. Law Dog Triangles getting dropped by Dab. Jacobs. Okay. Deontay out is a smash. Push comes to shove. Jacobs, says Bill. Kyron will break down in the winter. Akers was contacted by Raiders. Wouldn't that be crazy if Akers goes over there? And Chosen Money, I don't think I missed your super chat. I just haven't got to them all yet. I'm trying to read this. All right, I was waiting for that second question from my boy, but he hasn't asked it yet. Akers is Dookie, says Swaggy. Lockett plus Kamara for Amon-Ra. I'd take, man, that's close. I'd take Amon-Ra, I guess. I say Kyron, but I'm a Kyron owner. Okay. I tried to give you a second to ask that second question, bro. I got to move on. Appreciate you. Thank you for your double super chat. I will look for you again. I just can't hover on the chat too long because I got to get through these. Sammy, trade questions. So Fields and Jacobs, I'd rather keep. I guess I'd rather keep Kyron, but that's crazy. I think the trade value for Jacobs is still higher, though. So we got to be careful there. We got to be really careful there. I don't know. I mean, it's really tough. I'd almost say you got to trade Kyron away because Jacobs just has more value. Like, you could go trade Jacobs right now for A.J. Brown. I don't know that you can do that for Kyron. Maybe you could. Plus Pickens for... Look, it just takes like 2 more weeks and Kyron becomes cemented in everybody's mind. Right now, he's floating there. You know, it takes more than 1 week. It does. It takes more than 1 week, but, I mean, God, the guy's like... Was he running back 3 right now? It's like running back 3. Thank you, Ivan. Appreciate you. Anyway, have trade question. Fields plus, let's call it Kyron, plus Pickens for Josh Allen in London. I take that trade. And I'd rather have London over Collins. Or Pickens plus Javonte Williams for DJ Moore or Jacob. There's too many ors in here, Sammy. Mike Evans, like any. I'd not trade. I guess I would trade Pickens plus. I'm so confused at these ors. Or Pickens plus. It's like an equation. It's like this is like an equation here. Pickens plus Javonte Williams for DJ Moore or Jacobs for Evans. I'd take Jacobs. I'd trade Jacobs for Evans, and then I'd do the other trade as well, I guess. But I'm really confused after that one. That one's tough. Thank you, Sammy. Appreciate your confusing super chat. I still appreciate you, though. I'm thinking about trading Olave and Hunter Henry for CeeDee Lamb. Is that fair? It's a fair trade. I'd rather have... I mean, they're about even. They're about even. I don't think anybody can say one's crushing the other. I like Olave a little bit, but I think the cost of entry on Olave if we're drafting today would be lower, so you should be getting more if you're trading CD for Olave, as an example. I have Puka, Kupp, Nakua. Would you trade Puka for Christian Watson? No. Love to Watson might be to the moon. Love to Watson might be to the moon. Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you, Navy vet. I would not trade Puka Nakua. You can get so much more for him right now. He's gold in terms of trade. Trade Garrett Wilson and Javonte for Olave and Hall. Take Olave and Hall. Easy question for me. What do you think of this trade? What do I think of this trade? Chris Olave and Miles Sanders for Eckler and Lamar Jackson. If you need a quarterback, that Eckler-Lamar Jackson side is not bad at all, bro. But, you are waiting on Eckler and you are at the mercy of Austin Eckler. My T-Law Swift for Stevenson. If T-Law is your backup, I could get behind this, but at the same time, bro, I almost like Swift as much as Stevenson. And that could backfire on me, but to lose T-Law, if that's like potentially your starter, I can't stop winning since I've soaked my Mang in Law Dog milk. Poor soak win. Appreciate you, Dabber. Ray G with a $10 hauler. Thanks for telling all of us to get Tank to the bank Dell in the preseason, Smitty. I have him a 90% of my team's league winner. Appreciate you, Ray, for dropping the knowledge at the Smitty, the Fantasy Football Show College.
To the moon.
Thank you, my guy, Ray. Ray G to the moon. To the moon. This man's a moon man. Smitty, I traded Aaron Rodgers for Gibbs. Good move. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones for Gibbs. Good move. I would take Gibbs personally, but I know some people might not. Start Goff or Love if Burrow is out. I'm starting Love no matter what, Tyler. Your preseason takes are cold as F. Explain, says Hayden. Hayden, I don't have to explain anything. And the other thing too, Hayden, is you could say they're cold, but we could also say, oh, he told you to avoid J.K. Dobbins. Oh, he told you to avoid Austin Eckler. Oh, he told you to avoid JT and is now telling you to buy JT while everybody else spent the cost of entry on him. There's a lot of players they told you to avoid as well and told you to go get. But Hayden, that's okay. You can hate if you want, Hayden. I appreciate your super chat anyway. Thank you, pal. Mark Andrews or Gibbs rest of season. I'm going to go probably Gibby, baby. Let's go. And not to mention, Hayden, we're 2 weeks in, bro. You're an overreacting Oscar right now. Vin with the super chat. Vin, appreciate you. 10-man, $10 hauler. Vin to the moon. I love that we're 2 weeks in and it's like everything's cold. T-Law, Joe Burrow, running backs, Gibbs, Javonte Williams. This one's tough. Any thoughts to move anybody? I'd probably say you got two quarterbacks. I like them, bro. I like them. You got Gibbs, who I love. You got Swift, who I love. You got Charbonnet, Javonte, Roshan. Solid combination of just different players. Diggs, Olave, Chase, and Pickens is fire. Chigakonkwo, that's a cold take. I'll admit that for right now. Anyway, any thoughts on how to improve? I trade one of those quarterbacks to a QB needy team, bro. Probably hold the Law Dog if you can. And if you could trade Burrow, although, if you want to roll the dice on Burrow, if you can pick up a Jordan Love, he shouldn't be on waivers, but so many of you see him there. I don't know, bro. I think that this team is really, really good. If you could trade a Javonte and a Joe Burrow for a potential AJ Brown and or a Ridley, or even go trade a quarterback for Debo, or go trade for you could, let's see, yeah, Javonte, and you could even trade Swift and a quarterback for Pollard to upgrade slightly if you wanted to go that direction. But I like what you got. I just try and get rid of one of those QBs to get a player like Debo, a player like Breece Hall, Gibbs, etc., etc. Efren, appreciate your $5 hauler, broski. Efren coming in strong. Lineup feels shaky at best. QB hurts. Kyron, Akers. Well, you should, yeah. You definitely have some concern at the running back 2 spot. You get Devontae Smith, Chase, London. It's pretty good, but Do you trade a London and Pittman or a Pittman and Waller? Waller might be your best bet. You go commando at tight end, go find a tight end on waivers and trade Waller and potentially Pittman for a ETN, a Breece Hall, a Jahmyr Gibbs. Waller and Pittman or Waller and London should get you Breece Hall, ETN, or Jahmyr Gibbs, I'd imagine, Efren. And that's what I'm doing, bro. And I'm doing it live. Walker and Cooper for CD, Pittman, and Justice. I'm going to go Walker and Cooper, but then I trade Amari Cooper. I trade him immediately. And I go get Debo. I go get ETN. I go get Gibbs. I go get Hall. I go get a plethora of players. I go get a huge quarterback upgrade if you need one. My stupid screen is acting crazy. $18,000 per team Superflex League. 0-2. Josh Allen, A.J. Brown, Ridley, Gibbs, Pollard, Ingram, Walker. This team's fire. T-Law. I don't touch a thing. James Cook. Unless you could trade James Cook and Pickens for like a freaking, I don't know. You got Ridley. You got a lot of players, bro. Olave. You could trade like Pickens and James Cook for Olave. Something like that. Gabe Davis, Anthony Richardson. What do? You got Anthony Richardson too? Your team's fire. Get rid of one of those quarterbacks and go get a baller second round talent. Warrior, your team's straight fire. Don't screw that up though. Only trade the quarterback, and you don't even necessarily need to. You're going to dominate the quarterback position so much that you don't force a bad trade. Like hold on to it for a couple weeks because you'll get a lot out of Anthony Richardson if you wait versus selling him now and screwing up the trade opportunity, bro. A 10-man PPR: Burrow, Ford, Gibbs, Chase, Garrett, Kincaid, Puka, Addison, Benches, Breece, Javonte, Dotson, London. 0-2 trying to package Garrett to upgrade. Garrett Wilson and Javonte for Ridley. Garrett Wilson and Javonte. Garrett Wilson and Dotson for St. Brown. Like if you wanted to go a little bit, upscale wide receiver. But at the same time, like Garrett Wilson shouldn't be discounted. And Garrett Wilson, honestly, with Javonte, probably not so much London would be maybe the move. You also have Burrow and Anthony Richardson. I would bank on one of them potentially, bro. You could go Garrett Wilson and Burrow for a top 8 overall player, like a wide receiver. Easily get like a Diggs using it for a quarterback needy team that had Diggs. You should be able to get rid of Burrow and freaking Addison for a St. Brown. That I would potentially do. But your bench has Breece Hall. Your starting lineup has Gibbs and Ford. I think Breece Hall is really your starting. I know you got Ford there, but your starting running back. Would I start Ford initially? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Breece Hall news. But your team's stacked. Get rid of a quarterback in Dotson, a quarterback in London, a quarterback in Addison, and go get a monster top 12 like overall wide receiver or maybe even an RB. Addison should be able to get you a lot, bro. I'm 0-2. Do I go Fields or T-Law and Kyron Williams? I trade Fields for T-Law and Kyron Williams. I'd probably trade Fields for T-Law straight up, and you're getting a top 5 running back right now. I'm not saying he stays there, but he's a top 5 running back. Drop Charbonnet or Kincaid. I'm probably dropping Kincaid right now because you got Charbonnet. Just for now, bro. But can Kincaid be better than Henry? Be prepared for it eventually, bro. Pickens and Kincaid for Pittman and Dell. I'd probably take Pickens and Kincaid. And I love Tank Dell, but I'm taking Pickens and Kincaid. Pickens is a monster. 1-1, 12-team PPR, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex. QB Allen, running back Jacobs, Ramondre. Trades to make. I love Josh Allen. I'm trading Jacobs and James Cook away for 1 safer running back like Pollard. I'm trading Jacobs and potentially you could trade Keenan Allen and Jacobs for like a top 8 overall player. Would I trade Jacobs and Keenan Allen for Tyreek Hill? Yes. Would I trade Jacobs and potentially Jacobs for Gibbs, Jacobs for Hall, throw in something small? Those are all moves I would make with that team. Matty with a $5 holler. Punch that thumb up, everybody. 750 of you in here. Only 304 thumbs up. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. I'm going to try and open the phone lines if I can get through these super chats. But there are tons of them still here. Matt Slater with a $20 holler. Matt, appreciate you. I'm coming for you next. Thank you so much. 10-team full PPR, 1 QB. I'm 2-0. T-Law, Bijan, Gibbs, St. Brown, Dotson, Komet, Brees. Good team. Any moves to make? Much love, Smitty. Thank you, Matty. Appreciate you dropping this. I'd probably say, bro, with this team, you got Jordan Love. T-Law, Jordan Love. One of those guys with one of your players like, I'm not touching the running backs. I'm not touching St. Brown. I'm trying to get maybe a better wide receiver. Not touching Brees. But Pickens and Love for like a St. Brown type to put next to your St. Brown. So like a Diggs or a Calvin Ridley. That would be a smash. In my opinion, broski. That one's easy. Matt Slater with the $20 holler. Smitty's the GOAT. 0-2. Appreciate you, bro. Any moves? 1 QB, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 2 flex. QB Law, Love. Running back Walker, Gibbs, Kamara, Charbonnet, wide receivers Chase Olave. This is a great squad, bro. Love the team. T-Law loves a good combo. Walker, Gibbs, Kamara is fantastic. Chase Olave. Your team shouldn't be 0-2. You got Puka. I assume you're starting Puka. If not, I mean, you got to. Trade Christian Watson in London. Trade London and one of the quarterbacks and get an RB upgrade potentially. Walker to Pollard. Walker and London. Walker and Puka for CMC. You know, like try and reach. But that's a good squad. I almost hold that squad versus do anything crazy, Matt, because it's an absolute monster. And I feel like you got a lot of guys that are going to pop off. And if you trade them kind of like on the freeway, when you change lanes, when your lane's slow, the other lane's going to go fast as soon as you get out of it, you know, and the other lane's going to go slow when you get in it. T-Law, Walker, but I like the team a lot. Those suggestions are small, but that's what I would look to, you know, with your squad, Matt. And real quickly, looking at your team one more time, Matt, just because I want to help you with your $20 holler. Appreciate you so much. Again, quarterback and Walker for a slight upgrade. Quarterback and potentially London or Puka for a top 5 wide receiver. Just keep taking stabs. Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase. Just keep going one after the other using that Puka and quarterback potential move. Go to the quarterback needy teams first. T-Law, Walker, Gibbs, Hall, Javonte, Sharbs, J.J. Debo. Very good wide receivers. Puka and Evans. You probably, if you could start all 4 wide receivers, you're good to go. But if you could only start Puka or Evans, I mean, bro, you got to make a trade. Pickens, you got some squad right here. Some squad to trade around. Bijan or Hurts, Mahomes plus Flowers, Lamb. Bijan, yeah, I'd try and get Bijan if I'm you. I'd try and trade Walker and maybe Puka for Bijan, Walker and I don't know, Evans for potentially Bijan and something, but you'd have to get something back. I think Walker and Puka might get it done. Puka and man, I mean, look, you got tons of receivers. You could go Puka and Evans to a wide receiver needy team and go get the running back, that top 5 running back if you wanted, or you could trade Puka and Evans and go get Tyreek Hill. Puka and Evans, go get a Chase. I don't even know if that's good enough because Chase might not have Burrow all year. We don't know, but it's a fantastic team. Bijan or Hurts. I love the idea of getting Hurts. Trade Puka and T-Law for Hurts. Trade Evans and I mean, honestly, I would trade Evans. It'd have to be the right deal. Evans and T-Law. No. Yeah, I'd do the deals I'm suggesting, bro. Those are really good moves for your team. Your team's phenomenal. Freaking good team, bro. Shoddy, thank you for your super chat. Did I get to this one already, Bijan? Oh, that's the one I just did. Thank you, Shoddy. Appreciate you. This one's from 1995. Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Pittman, CMC, Andrews, 101. Should I make a move? I would probably say you need to maybe... I mean, your running backs are on point. Your tight end is, you either trade him high or you keep him. He's definitely one of the top 4 options for sure. And Andrews, maybe top 2 going forward. But do I trade like a potential Pittman and, I don't know, Hollywood for like a Debo? I would try that. There's not much you can maneuver, bro. Unless you're trading CMC down into like Gibbs and Ridley. Like, try that. Go to the Ridley owner, see if they got Gibbs. Go to the Gibbs owner, see if they have a Ridley. Go get A.J. Brown and Pollard for CMC. Like, if you're not doing something like that, you're waiting on this team. 1995. Like, there's just not a lot of movement there. The only thing you could move is CMC, really, or Josh Allen. And if you trade Josh Allen, you better be getting a freaking T-Law and top 5 wide receiver or top 5 running back. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm not making that move. Craig with the $2 hauler, no message attached. Craig, appreciate you dropping that. I'll try and see if you got something else out there that you might have dropped. But you guys got to include that in the message for me to find it easily, at least. This one here is from Beacons. Trade Brees and Lockett for Debo Kamara. I would take Debo and Kamara in a millisecond. That's a great question, though. Some people are probably thinking of things like that, and they need that kind of question. So thank you. Super chat earlier, you missed a player in my trade question I asked. Trade my Tyreek and Puka for Waddle, Olave, Kamara. I'm sorry if I missed that. So Puka and Tyreek for Waddle, Olave, Kamara. If you need the depth, that's not a bad move. It sucks trading Tyreek and Puka's playing out of his mind. I would say no if you don't need depth. If you were hurting at RB, Olave, Waddle, Kamara is a lot to turn down for Tyreek and Puka. So it would depend on your depth, bro. It's definitely even. It's definitely arguable on both sides, and it just comes down to your team need. Trade Puka and Mostert for Devontae Smith. I would take Devontae Smith. Absolutely fair trade to a lot of people, and I would do that deal. A lot of people love Puka that much. 12-team, 1 PPR, T-Law, Christian Kirk, Tutu, Bijan, Walker, Mark Andrews, Dylan, Benches, Kamara, Jameson, Kupp, Watson, Alec, Rashid, Tank, Charbonnet. Moves I can make. Walker to the moon. Christian Kirk is tradable right now. Walker and Bijan, I don't think I'm moving much there. This is a good team. I'm probably saying you need to stand down unless you're going to trade like Kirk and Tutu for like Debo. Kirk and Watson for a slight wide receiver upgrade. Somebody that's wide receiver needy. You trade Kirk and Watson and you get their maybe even higher than Debo. You know, I don't think you're getting a Ridley or anything like that. This team doesn't have much you can move. I don't want you trading Bijan. I don't really want you trading Walker. Kamara's waiting in the wings. Christian Watson hasn't bounced back yet. Cooper Kupp's going to return. This team doesn't have much to movement here. JR, you got to kind of wait on this. T-Law, you can't sell high. Unless you're selling Bijan, which I'm not recommending, you can't really do much. I would wait and see. Let this team build some value. Traded Kamara for Lamar in a 10-team league. I don't mind that if you needed a quarterback badly, but, bro, you had Richardson. So I'm going to say bad trade. I wouldn't have done that. Why do you need Lamar if this is not super flex when you have Richardson and Love? Love's going nuts, man. He's a top 5 or 6 quarterback right now. I wouldn't have done that. I'd rather have had Kamara in this squad. But hey, I appreciate you, bro. I don't want you to get discouraged by my comment. Go trade one of the quarterbacks. There are QB needy teams out there that need a quarterback, but you definitely weren't one of them. You know, that's the only thing I would say for next time. Don't trade for a plethora at a position where you have a plethora of talent. Love Cousins and AR in Burrow downtime. Missed it before. Love Cousins, AR, and Burrow downtime. I'm going to go AR if he's healthy. And Cousins has been balling out, though. So Cousins is your safe play. These are all really good options, bro. Love's been balling out. Cousins has been balling out. AR's been balling out. I'd say Cousins is probably your safest play, whereas AR is your high risk, high reward, and that's the play I probably pull out of my hat. But make sure he's healthy this week. He definitely might not be ready to rumble fully, and so Cousins is your safe play this week. Andrews at the movie. Should I offer Derek Carr and Najee for Kamara? I would. I have Geno, Love. Yes, put Love in your lineup. Derek Carr and Najee in a millisecond. Could Kamara having Pollard, Kyron, and Rashad? I like it. Andrew at the movies, go smash that. That's a really good one. Damon, appreciate you. Damon with the super chat. Smitty, help 0-2. Team is Bijan, Gibbs, Hall. Love the running backs. Wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Pickens. Love that. Fields, Love. Start Love. Wait on it. I don't know that you make any trades. You need Gibbs, Hall, Bijan. Don't trade them. You need Gibbs and Hall to gain value. You need Garrett Wilson to gain value. Pickens, you could sell high potentially, I guess. But what are you going to do? What kind of move can you make? I don't know that I'm going to make any moves here with just Pickens. I like your team. Unless you're trading like Pickens and Garrett Wilson to get St. Brown and I don't even know if that's good because what if Pickens is like a quiet top 8 to 12 wide receiver? So for me, I'd probably just say, Hunter Henry's a good sell. Go commando at tight end and pick up a tight end and put him in and sell Hunter Henry and Pickens for a slight wide receiver upgrade, like a potential A.J. Brown, buy low on A.J. Brown. That'd probably be the guy I would target if I'm you. A.J. Brown, see if you can get it done. If not, probably stand pat. Maybe come in next week with some value gained. Pickens does even better. You can trade him for a lot more. Any moves at 101? Justin Fields, AR, Javonte, Kyron. Kyron's a good sell high and a hold. It just depends. Madison, I'd sell him off. Chase, Ridley, Devontae Smith, your wide receivers are on point. Absolutely phenomenal. If it's me, you could bank on trading Fields or AR away if you wanted to do a dice roll. Trade one of those guys with Kyron to go in and get a Gibbs type of player. Some might want Kyron over Gibbs, and I can understand that, but I would personally trade like Fields and Kyron for Gibbs, or Fields and Kyron for Pollard, or AR and Kyron for Pollard. I don't know that I would go much lower than like a Gibbs. I think Hall is interesting using Fields and potentially maybe you hold on to Kyron. You go Madison and Fields for Breece Hall or Gibbs or ETN or a Kenneth Walker or someone of that caliber. That might get it done. It just depends on how many QB needy teams are out there. Lunchbox, appreciate your super chat. Chosen Money says I missed his super chat a while ago. It just took a while to get to it, bro. I'm here. Nico Collins for Ford could use a running back. You got to go based on position of need, Chosen One. And if you need an RB, then Ford is your guy. Don't think that that's a bad move. Got offered Watson for my Addison. Addison's safer right now and commands more. I'm not saying don't do it, but you certainly need to get more because the fair market value for Addison's exceeded Christian Watson's. Should I trade Swift for Puka and Hall? I would trade Swift for Puka and Hall in a millisecond. Some would trade Swift for Puka straight up, Anthony, so that is a must-have smash. Shred got offered Pacheco for Addison. You take Addison and you run. Okay? Addison's also got tremendous trade value if you wanted to flip it. Joe, I'm trying to trade Damian Pierce for Alvin Kamara. Thoughts on starting Gibbs and Pacheco? I'm not super sold on Pacheco. I don't hate him. I think he still gets you like 10 points a week right now, but I would definitely take Kamara. If you got to give up a little bit with Damian Pierce to get Kamara, I do it. But I do like Pierce. I'm starting Pierce over Pacheco, and Gibbs is locked in. So don't give up on Pierce either, though. Don't sell him for nothing. Tank Dell or Jaden Reed. I probably go Tank Dell because Christian Watson's returning. $10 hauler from Ryan. We don't know when Watson's returning, but that will put a little bit of a damper on Reed. But I do like Reed. I'm not saying he's bad. Roster is Lamar, Aaron Jones, Karen. You got Karen. Lamar, Aaron Jones, and Karen. Mike Williams, Tyree, Kincaid, Gibbs. Like the team a lot. Treylon Burks, Sky Moore. Tempted to trade, those guys high. Was offered Lamar and JSN for Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson or Bijan Robinson? Where's this Brian Robinson? You got Brian Robinson somewhere? If that's Brian Robinson, I would take Lamar Jackson in a millisecond with JSN for Brian Robinson. Okay, if that's a Bijan Robinson, then I wouldn't even throw in Karen. Can stream Love, Goff, Danny Dimes. I want, let's see. You have Lamar. Okay. So you the way you're wording this is you're trading away Lamar. Okay. I'd take Bijan Robinson in a millisecond. Does that clear it up? Bijan Robinson in a millisecond, but there's no way you're getting Bijan Robinson. If that's Brian Robinson, the answer is no. I'm not saying Brian Robinson is bad, but I'm not giving up JSN and Lamar. I'm trying to use Lamar to get something else. So if it's Bijan, do it. Love is definitely a good quarterback. I'm fine on Love. Okay, thank you, Ryan. Appreciate your super chat. Ryan's the man, the myth, the legend. Rax Poker, Burrow, DJ Moore for Gibbs and T-Law. Give me Gibbs and T-Law. Gibbs and T-Law, but it's arguable, and a lot depends on Joe Burrow. I mean, we all know that. I wish it wasn't the case. What do you think about trading Jacobs for Puka? I'd rather have Puka. Thank you for the super chat. Burn, Swift, Ford, Moss, Breda on waivers right now, 12-team. Dude that had Swift panic and dropped him after week 1. In what order would you rank them in terms of waiver wire? Swift, big space, Ford, Moss, big space, Breda. But Swift, and I drop literally the entire load drop on him, bro. The entire thing. Just a complete load drop. 8-team league. Hurts, Hall, Gibbs, Debo, Chase. Very good team. Hopkins, Love, AR-15. It's a good team. Very good team, bro. Any moves to make? Not really. I like this squad. I'm looking at the whole thing. I like the entire lineup. Would I, if it's a 1 QB, would I trade Love and Hopkins for one better player, or Anthony Richardson and Hopkins for one better player? I'm starting Hurts. That's the only thing you're looking to move. Can you get a Kamara? Can you get a JT? Can you get some? You got Kamara. Go get JT. Go get JT. Put him on the bench as well, using the quarterback and maybe D-Hop. That's the only move to make, bro. The team is looking stacked. Love the squad. Love it. Brady with the $2. Andrew, Swift, Olave for Chase, Javonte Williams. I'd take Swift, Olave, Andrews by a long country mile, bro. Box of Juice says Puka Nakua over Swift rest of season. Say I'm wrong. I don't think you're crazy for thinking that. No, I mean, it's not. I mean, it depends on if you need a running back. I think Swift's a good move. If you need a wide receiver, Puka's a good move there. Any moves on my other league? Love, Bijan, Swift, Wilson, Olave, Kincaid, London, Flowers. I like it. Not much to trade unless you're trading Fields and Pierce and London all away for a doubted A.J. Brown, a Jahmyr Gibbs type of guy. Those are all fantastic thoughts, I think, to maybe take this team in that direction. Pierce, Fields, London. Try to get A.J. Brown. Try to get Deebo Samuel. Try to get Hall. Try to get Gibbs. Past that, I think there's not a lot of moves to make yet until some value gets gained, but those are options I would be attacking immediately. Dynasty full keep league. Trade Jaden Reed and next year's third rounder for Stroud. Superflex. Definitely. In a Superflex, you definitely got to do that. Already have Josh Allen and AR. Did I reach? You didn't reach, but I mean, I definitely... Next year, third rounder, like in the rookie draft, yes. In the actual like vet draft, if you guys throw, but if you full keep, then this is a rookie draft, right? So I would definitely go get Stroud if it's super flex, but make sure I'm understanding that right before you take what I say. If it's not a full, you said full keeper league, so that's dynasty, not keeper. So I'm a little confused by the word keeper. Lamar started with Akers and Dobbins. Hill, Ridley. Okay. Should I trade Waller and Roshan for like ETN and Pitts? Yes, I would do that. And I'd even take just ETN. I don't know that I get greedy and ask for Kyle Pitts in return. It might make him say no. Waller and Roshan for, I don't know that anybody's going to give you Roshan, but you could certainly try. I'd rather hold on to Roshan than like throw him in or something. But Waller and A.J. Dillon even. Waller and maybe a Ertz if somebody's struggling at tight end. Ertz seems to be an attractive go-get piece for people right now. So either one of those guys, not both of them obviously, but Waller and one of those guys and somebody. I just don't know that Ertz is going to get you too much. I would say Waller for Debo, Waller for Gibbs, Waller for Hall, and then you got to add more to it depending on the player that we're talking about. Some people will trade ETN straight up for Waller. That would be a good move. Some would take Waller for Debo. I'd take Debo. Christian Watson's a thought, but he's definitely a buy low, and I don't know if that's the right move. Appreciate you. Chris Connor with a $5 12-man full PPR 0-2. QBs are T-Law, Richardson. Running backs are Walker, White, B-Rob, Charbonnet, Kelly, Chase, Ridley, Waddle. Your wide receivers are off the hook. Your Waller tight end move could be something that I maybe move. T-Law, Richardson, I probably use one of those quarterbacks if it's not a super flex, and couple that quarterback to a QB needy team with Rashad White to go get a slight Gibbs or Breece Hall upgrade. Chase, Ridley, Waddle. You could try and, I mean, I know we're using a lot of the same guys, but they're very, very good go-gets in JT, Kamara, all those guys. And I know some of you guys have those players already, but A.J. Brown is just such a nice buy low right now. I'm buying Gibbs, A.J. Brown, and using the extra quarterback. And I love T-Law and Richardson. I love both of them, so whichever one gets you more, I would probably do that. Let me even look at my thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings and come up with an even greater list of names for you. I would say if anybody wants to buy low on players, like this is on my ranking site, you get bold predictions, rankings, trade calculators, one-on-one text device. A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Christian Watson's a lot later down. Jamar Chase, all buy lows. JT, Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, all those guys are very nice buy lows. So I would use those names and just start poking around, one offer after the next. Go do it live, get her done. AB with a super chat better, bench stash Charbonnet or Warren. I'm going to say probably Charbonnet. What are your thoughts on Dameon Pierce going forward? Should I pick up Jerome Ford? I like Dameon Pierce. I like Jerome Ford. Ford's on the waiver wire list. Go watch the beginning of the waiver wire part, or go watch the waiver wire show where I talk about Ford. But he's definitely a potential full load drop if you need somebody. And I like Pierce as a good buy low. But make sure you're actually buying low because he's practically free. Also got Cup on IR. Brian, appreciate you. Cup is a fantastic hold right now. I mean, you could trade him if you wanted to. I'd rather have Kamara than Cup if you can make that swap out. Anybody that's watching. For $5 Huller, lost Chubb, trade, stay, trade or stay. Trade Tyreek Puka for Kamara, Olave, Waddle. Didn't we just see this one? Kamara, Olave, Waddle. 2 QB. Burrow, Purdy, Howell, Tyreek, Ridley, Debo, Flowers. That's so tough, man. This is the one with you got the bench. I probably keep Tyreek and Puka. Just because you don't know what's in store for Kamara. You don't know what's in store for Waddle. I love Olave, but Puka's going nuts, and Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill, so I don't think I'm making that move, bro. I just don't think I can do it. Hey, Rock, I'm super behind on super, so you got to be quick, but I wanted to let you in. You're a Mars man, so as quick as you can, pal.
Yeah, I got Burrow and Love. Would you get a third quarterback and then try to trade off Burrow?
Yep, definitely. I just think you got to wait until he comes back or some good news pops, and then, yeah, go after the guys that have been tossing out. A.J. Brown, Debo, ETN, Hall, Gibbs, all those boys. Definitely rock out.
Appreciate it.
All right, later, rock out. Appreciate you. Sorry, I got to run. 12-team PPR, Lamar, Javonte, Swift, Ford, Roshan, Warren, JJ, Mike Williams, Watson, JSN, Bateman, Andrews, trade 0-2, got offered Kelsey for Andrews and Watson. I'd take Kelsey and I'd run. Absolutely the move to make. Love it. That's the move. That's definitely the move. Past that, I mean, upgrading a Lamar slightly would be nice in my opinion. Maybe throw in if you don't get that deal done. If you get that deal done, you're good. If you don't get that deal done, like a Mike Williams or potentially a Watson to get Lamar into a Hurts or someone of that caliber, I'm definitely loving that trade idea, though. Garrett Wilson or Debo. I like Debo quietly more, but you got to get more, you know what I'm saying? Because Garrett Wilson's got more value, but that's a nice crafty way to get out of the Garrett Wilson situation if you hate it. Drop Roshan or Charbonnet for Ford. Probably if you own Walker, you have Kenneth Walker, you got to drop Roshan for now. But just keep an eye on him because he's a league winner, bro. He's a league winner. He just needs a shot. I know everybody wants to give up on him, but I told everyone last week he's the patient play. He's not somebody you expect to go nuts yet, and everybody's ready to just cut loose. So make sure you monitor him. Any opinions, Smitty? Just traded my Puka and Brian Robinson for Pollard and Pittman. I like that. I'd smash that all day long, bro. Pollard to the moon. That trade is a fantastic move. Smitty approved. No doubt about it. I like Puka, but that's a great move. Who should I drop for Love? I got Burrow, and I'm being a Panic Peter right now. You're not being a Panic Peter, Carter. You're being a I'm not listening Noah, because I've been saying get Love all year, all offseason. Week 1, waiver wire show, pre-week 1, get Love. You'll want him after week 1. Week 2, go get him if you didn't listen to me and picked him up in week 1. Now you've got no Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers or Burrow's banged up. You got to get him, bro. It's not a panic Peter. It's a prepared Peter. Be a prepared Peter, not a panic Peter, Carter. Okay? There's a big difference. Big difference. No pun intended. I dropped Love. I got Burrow. Who should I drop for Love? I got Burrow. I'm being a panic Peter right now. On my bench is Pacheco, Kincaid, Charbonnet, Nico Collins, and Roschon. Probably like Roschon or Pacheco for right now, or Kincaid. Just pick your poison based on your feel of the waivers. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to be able to pick up a tight end, then drop Kincaid. If you think you're going to be able to just feel out the waiver process, make sure you're not dropping a backup quarterback or a backup tight end if you can ever pick one up. The real baseball king team is Josh Allen, Bijan, Pollard, Ridley, Addison, Waller, K9, benches, T-Law, Mostert. This is fantastic. Only thing you need to do is try and get rid of Madison and T-Law to a QB-needy team. Madison and Mostert and T-Law to a QB-needy team. McLaurin and Mostert for one better player. All the names I've been tossing out from A.J. Brown to Gibbs to Breece Hall, and just keep unloading offer after offer to try and get one of those guys. Sam, appreciate you. More math questions. My running back Jacobs plus Kyron Williams and Swift and Damian Pearson, Javonte Williams. Wait, what? Okay. Trade Fields plus Pickens or... Ah, my God. What these and/ors, bro. Trade Fields and Pickens plus Jacobs or Kyron for Josh Allen in London. Give me. Yes, I'd probably keep Josh Jacobs, I guess, just to trade him and flip him. But I like Kyron better quietly, just so you know. If you know you can't make any trades and no one trades and this is the only trade you're going to make, I mean, I quietly like Kyron more. It's just Jacobs, how do you not hold Jacobs? How do you not try and trade him for more? So Pickens, Fields, and Kyron for Josh Allen in London is an absolute home run, bro. Just to smash, just get that run. Drop Charbonnet or Dalvin Cook for Jerome Ford. I'd probably drop Dalvin Cook at this point. I don't believe in Dalvin Cook right now, and that's probably the easy move to make. John, appreciate you. 12-team PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 flex, 2 wide receivers for one tight end league. Have Eckler, Sanders, Kamara, Ford, Warren, Roschon, Ridley, Moore, Puka, Lawrence, Andrews. Who should I target in a trade? Ridley, DJ Moore, Lawrence and Andrews. You kind of got to wait on Eckler, bro. It's like Sanders and Puka for like a Pollard or a Ridley or a St. Brown, or it's like you could go Puka for A.J. Brown if you want to take a little gamble there because Puka could be better. Sanders and Ford for a slightly better player. Those would all be moves that I would make, but you have to wait on Eckler, unfortunately. You can't sell him. You have to hope that DJ Moore bounces back. You got Ridley, you got Lawrence, you got Andrews. It's a good squad. It's a really good squad. Just go after all these names I've been tossing out, from A.J. Brown down to Debo, down to ETN, to Gibbs, to Breece Hall, and try and use, depending on how high you go, Ridley and St. Brown, then you include Puka. If you don't go that high, then you probably have to hold Puka out, I suppose, and you're trying to get rid of Sanders and Ford for like a Debo. Sanders and Ford for, like Sanders for Christian Watson could be a good, just quiet little move that's just small. That would be a nice move. I think Christian Watson's going to go bonkers once he comes back. Any suggestions for your team? 1-1, PPR, Mahomes, Pollard, Javonte, Garrett Wilson, Debo, Hopkins, London, Kamara. I love Kamara. I love that you got Pollard and Kamara and Mahomes and Debo. Garrett Wilson and Hopkins, you could trade both of them for A.J. Brown if you wanted to quietly get into a potentially safer wide receiver. A.J. Brown's got his own risks, but that could be a little too much, I suppose. Garrett Wilson and London for that. Garrett Wilson and Hopkins could get you a St. Brown or Ridley. I'd shoot for Ridley. Garrett Wilson and Javonte for Ridley. That would make some sense. I like that team, though, Brent. Don't do anything crazy. It's a good squad. It can definitely, survive, and then you got more firepower next week.
To the moon.
Sometimes the best moves are no move at all. 12-team, full PPR. Love, Burrow, Pierce, Gibbs, Kamara, DJ Moore, Musgrave. I'm 1-on-1 flex. Any trade that I should be making. Trade one of your quarterbacks, bro. It's the theme of the day with some of you that have Love and Burrow, and you got to bank on Burrow, but if he gets hurt, you're screwed. But that's if you feel like you need to make a move. You're 1-on-1. How do you feel you stack up against the other teams? To be honest with you, I think your team's really good. I think if you were to be patient with Love and Burrow instead of getting rid of one, and you have Gibbs, Kamara, fire, Ridley, Olave, fire, London's turning into something great, Pierce and DJ Moore for just a slightly upgraded player. You could also trade like Burrow and bank on Love and trade Burrow. That way you're not running the risk. So Burrow and Pierce for like a Pollard, Burrow and Pierce for a St. Brown or Ridley, Burrow and DJ Moore for a similar type player. That's probably the move to make. If you could get someone that's QB needy to see the value in Burrow, that's safer than going away from Jordan Love. That's probably what my advice would be. Bank on Love, go away from the risk of the Cav. It is what it is. Jalen Hurts, Bijan, Kenneth Walker, A.J. Brown, Amari Cooper, Ingram, Pierce. Good team. Amari Cooper and Pierce for one better player. Amari Cooper and potentially McLaurin for one better player. Hang on to Kamara. Puka is solid. Puka goes into your lineup, obviously. But if you traded Puka and Amari Cooper, what could you get? Could you get a Chase? Maybe. Could you get a Tyreek Hill? Probably not. You could try. Could you get a Ridley? Yeah, but would you even Puka and what for Ridley? McLaurin? Puka and McLaurin for Ridley? Puka and Pierce for Ridley? Puka and Pickens for Ridley? Puka and Amari Cooper for Ridley? Those are all arguable on both sides. I would probably rather have the big monster. Give me St. Brown or Ridley. That's where I would go with that team potentially. AB with the super chat here. $9 hauler, AB to the moon. Appreciate AB. AB, my guy. AB says Tua, running back Ramondre, Sanders, Pierce, Roshan, Cheetah, JJ. Man, your receivers are fire. I need running back help. What moves? Recommend Ford over Pierce. I would probably rather have Pierce for the long term, but Ford needs to be grabbed anyway, and then you hold him. Like trade, I guess I'd rather have Pierce. But pick up, I'm picking up both, and I'm dropping, like, let's say, a backup tight end or, someone like that. Charbonnet would be hard to drop, or Roshan, but you might have to do that to pick up Ford. But I'm certainly not going to drop Pierce or trade Pierce out for Ford. I'd want both of them. And if I had to pick, I would pick Pierce because we don't really know how long we're going to see freaking Ford in there. You know what I'm saying? You're correct. It's rookie-only draft picks. Thanks, Smitty Puka. To the moon. I still believe in Garrett Wilson. Love the show. The show loves you back. The ball. And please keep the faith in Garrett Wilson. He's doing well. People are just off their rocker. That boy, 2 QB league have T-Law. Do I trade Watson and Amon-Ra for AR and Garrett Wilson? Absolutely, bro. I hate trading Amon-Ra away, but AR5 is a phenomenal player in Dynasty, bro. Phenomenal, or in Superflex. Who do you want, London and Wilson or Keenan Allen Evans? Probably Keenan Allen and Evans right now, but I would try and trade Keenan Allen on the high. It's not disrespect. It's worried about injury, and you got to roll with Evans. At some point, you got to recognize what's real, what's going on right now. Perception is reality. This is what we're living in. 12-team PPR, T-Law, Bijan, Walker, A.J. Brown, Debo, Pickens, Muth. It's a good squad. Any moves? Probably not. I think I wait on this team. A lot of talent, a lot of wait and see. Nothing you want to sell because you'd be selling low, not selling Bijan. Absolute hold on this team. I don't see a single thing that I want to move because it just has all the right pieces that are going to ball out. Appreciate you all. Hurts, Dotson, and Mostert for Addison plus Fields. Hurts, Dotson, Mostert for Addison and Fields. Give me Hurts, Dotson, and Mostert, and I try and trade Mostert, but I'm taking that Hurts side and taking that solid quarterback side. That is all the super chats. If I missed anybody's super chat, would you please let me know in the chat right now? Smitty, you missed my super chat, and I will search for you. We had a few of you drop these random super chats with no messages attached. We've had 3,000 messages so far on this live stream. We've been live for freaking 3 hours now. So I apologize if I missed any. My super chat, you did super chat stops, but you didn't, I didn't miss it because you didn't include it. But I got it right here. I found your other message. QBs are Lamar and Love. Running backs are Walker, White, James Cook, Algier. Wide receivers are A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Evans. Tight ends, Pat Fryermuth, Hurst. Who do you start this week? I mean, you're starting Jordan Love. You're starting Walker and probably, I would say, James Cook. You're starting A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans. You could sit Garrett Wilson for Pickens. I'm fine with that. Either one. We'll have to play that one by ear. And you're probably starting Hurst at this point right now, bro. But trades, yeah. Rashad White, James Cook, Lamar, and one of those guys for a wide receiver, bro. If you could turn from a QB needy team, Lamar and Rashad White, into, I don't think you're getting Pollard, but start swinging that high. For Gibbs, I'd do it. Lamar and White for Gibbs, smash. James Cook and Lamar for St. Brown or Ridley. Ridley is so undervalued right now. Stops, that would be amazing for you to get that done. Go do it live. Little Nicky dropped the same thing. No attached super chat, but let me see if I can find like a question somewhere. Little Nicky, thank you. Oh, you ended up dropping a super chat. That was the Ford, Hopkins, Andrews for Burrow, Kelsey. So thank you, Little Nicky, for dropping another super chat. Appreciate you. Then we got Craig Mitten, who just dropped a super chat. There's no other question anywhere by him. So Craig, appreciate you just dropping some love in the chat. Mike dropped a super chat for $5.99, and I don't see a additional question anywhere. I don't think. Accidentally sent nothing with your super chat. Okay, and then maybe did you send another question somewhere? I'm looking, Mike, and I don't see it. Ridley, yeah, I don't see it. I see like your message right after that. You said accidentally sent nothing with my super chat, but then didn't ever ask a question. So Mike, if you've got one, I'm going to try and keep this on screen and look for you. Okay, Mike. So if you got something, ask away. And then Vin dropped a super chat. I saw Vin's. Thank you, Vin, for dropping that super chat. Let me go back. There's two more super chats that are here. Michael Vaughn says, trade Puka for Kyron. We've gone over this earlier. It's a great question. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ask it again. Just that we definitely think that like Kyron is worth Puka and Puka's worth Kyron. So depending on your need, I can get behind either side of that trade. Puka's got slightly more value, in my opinion, in the open market, but that doesn't mean Kyron shouldn't. It's just people are valuing Puka more. $10 holler from Michael. Appreciate Michael. Deep PPR league. No grandmas. I lost Chubb. Need help. Mahomes, Love, AJ Brown. I mean, you trade one of these quarterbacks, bro. K9, AJ Brown. Those are good. You are lacking. You need something. You trade one of your quarterbacks. You go get a St. Brown. You go get a Lave, who's undervalued right now. Lave and Ridley are probably the two most undervalued. Gibbs and Hall are probably the four most undervalued players right now, and you could get that with one of your extra quarterbacks, assuming that's a 1 QB league. Stroud or Mayfield, I'm going to go Stroud. Need a QB, have Fields, Love, taken. Yeah, go Stroud. Stroud's pretty crafty, bro. He's got so much wide receiver talent. I think all three of his wide receivers are in the top 35 right now. It's crazy. All we have is today, my locket for Swift. I would take Swift in a millisecond. And even if you're good at running back or whatever, I'm still taking Swift. Trade away Jalen Waddle for Gibbs. Thank you, Money. Appreciate you, G Money. Trade away Jalen Waddle for Gibbs. I would take Jahmyr Gibbs. That's me. Not everybody will agree on that, and that's okay. We're not always going to agree, and that's just fine. But that's how I feel. That's how Dad did it. That's how I do it. Amon Ra, appreciate you. Amon Ra. Amon, appreciate you. I'm on another level. Amon Ra. PPR, which running back should I trade for Kamara? Stevenson or James Cook? James Cook. Can afford to wait until he comes back. I would wait till Kamara comes back. I'm not trading Kamara for... I'm not trading Stevenson for Kamara. I like Stevenson enough right now, but Cook. I would trade James Cook for Kamara in a millisecond. If I had to give up a little bit more, I would. Any other running backs to target with James Cook? I wouldn't trade Stevenson unless you're getting like Gibbs and something, like a Christian Watson and Hall or Christian Watson and Gibbs. That would be interesting. A Debo and a running back like that. Go poke around at those teams. Past that, James Cook for Hall, James Cook for Gibbs. Add a little bit more. ETN, Walker, I like all those players over Cooks, and I would give up slightly a bit more. Absolutely. Kareem Hunt over Ford? No. I'm going to say Ford over Kareem Hunt, Jack, but trust your gut on that. Appreciate you all. Phone calls really briefly. Phone lines are open. 30 seconds, really, really fast. I'm going to take like 2 calls because it's already 8:20 my time.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Presented by Texas Red, $299 Super Chatter is the highest Super Chatter of the year during the month of August. So if you want to knock off Red, go ahead and do so. Appreciate you all. Again, I'm taking just a couple calls, guys. I'm not taking very many calls at all because it's just going to get out of hand here. This is Young calling in. Young, you got like 30 seconds, bro.
It's me.
Yeah, Young, I can't do a marker board, bro. I get too far behind. So 30 seconds, go.
Yeah. All right. So you said that you were cool with the other trade, but would you do Burrow, Barkley for Taylor and Richardson?
Absolutely, bro. I mean, Barkley's injured right now. He probably will come back within a week or two. He'll be out this week, but he's injury prone, and he's going to come back at less than 100%. So his likelihood of re-injury is going to be high.
And then what about that other one, too, the Burrow, Barkley for Fields and Kamara? What about that?
I like that one as well. There's some risk there, but, I mean, there's probably less risk with Fields than Burrow's injury right now.
Love.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Say it again. If you've got Love, I got to rethink it. Say it again, the trade.
I have Jordan Love, so Burrow and Barkley to try to get Fields and Kamara.
I mean, I'd probably rather Fields and Kamara. All right, Young, appreciate you, man. I mean, it's close, though. It's close, though. All right, later.
Okay.
All right, Donnie Bravo, you got 30 seconds. I'm not playing around on this one. 30 seconds, and I hang up, bro. What do you got?
Hey, Smitty, did a trade today. Just wondering what you thought about it. They traded Swift and London for Stephon Diggs.
Swift and London for Diggs. I think it's arguable, but I'd take Diggs.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, London play well, but I think some will worry that he'll continue. So I get it. And Diggs is Diggs. It's good. I like it. Nice move.
All right, thank you, Bob.
All right, later. All right, last caller, Rob from Indy. Rob, go ahead. You got 30 seconds, pal. All right, Donnie? Did Donnie go?
Yeah.
Donnie, Bravo, go. You're up.
Yeah, the guy went in front. I was going to ask.
Wait, hold on. So hold on a second. I'll give you more time back. So I said your name and he took your turn?
Yeah.
What a snake move, bro. Whoever that was. All right, go. Donnie Bravo. Go ahead.
It's all good. No worries. I was just going to ask, are you cool with me starting Ken Walker over Ridley? Because I currently have Bijan, Gibbs, Lamb, and Nakua starting.
Ken Walker over... I'm not starting Ken Walker over Ridley. Okay. I love both of them. I mean, Walker scored twice, but, I mean, Ridley's the guy.
Okay. All right, thank you, Smitty.
You got a good problem on your hands, though. All right, later, Donnie Bravo. Appreciate you. All right, last phone caller, Anthony from Georgia. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Should I trade Swift for Kamara?
Pretty even, bro. Pretty even. Pros and cons. Swift is there now. Are you going to be okay without Kamara for another week, or what if? I mean, Swift's balling, bro, but there's risk. Chat, vote Swift or Kamara. Kamara or Swift. Vote in the chat for our boy Anthony. I'm gonna lean towards Swift because we know what we got right now.
Goodbye. All right, thank you, Smith.
All right, later, bro. All right, phone calls are over. I'm sorry we've been here for 3 hours. So this one from Alex is their hope for Dameon Pierce. Absolutely, buy him low. I'm not saying to give up the world for him in a trade, but buy him low. Like have him thrown into a deal. A 10-team league: Fields, Gibbs, Hall, Swift, Connor, Rashad White, Roshan, JJ, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson. Some trade ideas. I don't love Connor and White. Trade Connor and White. I like that idea to upgrade Fields into a quarterback slightly above Fields. I mean, you're not going to get everybody to give you a Jalen Hurts, but if they're just rummaging through the trash for a running back and you can give them Connor, who did really well last week, or Rachaad White, they might be okay with it. You throw in another player, like I don't know what other bench players you might have, but I would give up Rachaad White and Connor because you have Gibbs, Hall, and Swift. I would give up both of them to a running back needy team for Ridley, for obviously St. Brown or above, but even maybe give up one of those guys for just Debo. Maybe give up one of those guys or both of them for Gibbs or Brees, or you already have Gibbs, I'm sorry, for A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown would be fantastic. You have A.J. Brown, don't you? Bro, your team's good. I think focus on quarterback upgrade. Connor, Rachaad White, and Fields for one of the top 3 quarterbacks. Ivan. God, I can't even suggest anybody in your team. You got everybody on your team, bro. It's a good squad. You could actually sit too and wait a week. Don't make a bad move to make a move. You can wait a week. Do I trade St. Brown and Aiyuk for Ridley and Puka? Yes. Close. It's close though. But yes. Bijan Robinson for Gibbs and Olave. Give me. If you need the depth, bro, Gibbs and Olave. If your teams are rocking out right now and you don't need this move, you're just wanting to trade, I'd probably lean and stay Bijan. But if you need a move, if you need 2 players, if this trade helps you potentially win because you're lacking at one of these spots, I would bank on it. I think Gibbs is going to be that good, and Olave's fantastic, bro. But this is a tough trade to make. It's not an easy call. I'd love to know what the chat thinks. Bijan, or are we going Olave and Gibbs? Can we get a vote on that one? Appreciate you all being here. Thank you for joining me. I can't thank you all enough. If I missed a super chat somehow, some way, I checked one off and closed it or something, please let me know in the comments, and I will get to you. Just scream at me. You missed my super chat. Here it is, and I will take care of you. I appreciate you all. I will see you all later. You guys are awesome. Just get it done. Dropping one more super chat. 6 point per TD pass. Start Stafford, Love, Fields, Goff. I'm starting Love, bro. I'm starting Love. We're doing it live. Appreciate you all. Ridley or Gibbs? Gibbs. Olave, Gibbs, Olave.